Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco, and somehow this cheerful grit didn't fall off my shoulder just now. Welcome! This is a holiday stream weekend, sort of, kind of. Next week falls on December 23rd and 24th, and so I'm not going to be streaming then or the following weekend. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering what's coming or why there's a gap, that will explain it. It's also meant to inform those watching live because I've been hesitant to commit to solid dates. Boot you indeed. Twitch just ate our hype train, which is so anti-hype. It's so not Raven at all. Speaking of things that aren't Raven at all, can I get confirmation from anyone watching as to whether this is a legitimate grievance? Because I feel like it is, but I can't tell if it's a Vasco thing. So, you know, I complain quite frequently about the temperature in California because it is generally just too hot. But for, you know, like 90 days starting in like really late November, you get a decent window of time when California pretends to do winter, which means that the weather is in my comfort range for exactly that amount of time and no longer. Which is fine. Because of the desert climate, it does get like a little cold like overnight and early in the morning, and some of that overlaps with, you know, like when I get up for work and all that. And you know, I've complained a great deal about my apartment and my landlord, and sometimes the lack of ceiling, which is troubling. Thankfully, that has not been an issue in the recent past, despite some rain. But I haven't talked much about the heating situation here, because I mean, it's an older building. It's not an incredibly old building, but like it's an older building, and so like it does have like heating installed, but it doesn't work very good. Now I want to clarify that because it does have the ability to heat the apartment pretty nicely, considering that it's not like distributed evenly throughout the apartment. Like it's actually like a pretty good system in terms of raw heating power. However, the controls, I guess you could call it a thermostat, although it's really just like a box with a suggestion of a temperature gauge and a single line on it, and then like a switch, and it's like a glorified on-off switch. It's meant to be able to adjust to temperature, but like it's the least precise thing known to man. And a thing that it will do quite regularly that's frustrating is that it will not turn on like all day. Like it just doesn't turn on. Like I'll set it to like reasonably warm. Like I won't set it all the way to the right just to force it to kick on, because then it'll be like, got it, setting temperature to 200 degrees Fahrenheit or something. But like, you know, I keep it in a range where like it should definitely turn on in the mornings when it's like sub 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Which, like, again, it's not like the coldest thing in the world, but like you gotta bundle up for that if you're gonna be like sitting in that, which is essentially what I'm doing since I'm working from home. But like it's really hit or miss. Like much of this week it's been working like the way it should be working. And then like today it didn't like kick on at all until like I went to like shower before the stream. And then like it was like it basically waited until the hottest point in the day, which, you know, like it wasn't outrageous. Today was like the warmest day in a while. It was like around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So like that's not terrible, but like, you know, that's already like a comfortable temperature. And so like it chooses this time when I'm like not paying attention to it to like kick on the heat and like heat it up to like 76 degrees for like no reason at all. And like I don't have it set on that like suggestion gauge in such a way that it should heat my apartment when it's like more than like 72 degrees. So like it just like decided to be a jerk and like kick on the heat at like the dumbest possible time. And so then I ended up having to run the like air conditioner because it got like too hot in here. It's really stupid. Like it shouldn't do that. Your heat turned off for 2 weeks. Ugh. So it was like the same situation where you like had it set to on and the system was like technically working, but like it just like didn't turn on like that, because like that's what mine does. Like there's no actual like flaw in the system. It's not like I need to get it repaired. It's just that like the technology and the thermostat was invented by the Flintstones, and like as a result the little like prehistoric parrot or whatever that lives inside the box was just like napping all day, and then like had a panic attack because it slept in and then just like kicked on the thermostat. Air was blowing instead of heat. See, that sounds like that's like a actual problem. Wilma, indeed. Apropos of nothing, I found a new YouTube like video essayist who I've been like watching some of their content. Our birds definitely got switched. I've been watching a new like video essayist. Her name is Jenna Nicholson, and probably everyone in chat knows her because she seems really famous. But like one of the ones I watched is she did like a video essay like detailing her journey to go buy like a 4-foot tall spider plush based on the giant spider from Harry Potter. And the adventure took her past like the Flintstones, like a defunct Flintstones theme park in Arizona. And I don't know. It's just I thought that was a fun ride. Also, it's very funny to see her carry around the spider because it's basically as tall as she is. But rather than tell you about all the things I irresponsibly used time to do this week, why don't I tell you about Murder by Numbers? Let's first load the game because the menu is loud and I've been talking over it for a while. What's the latest one? This does not use American dating conventions. This one? They're all from last week. I saved several times, and this has the latest timestamp. So I forget the last puzzle we solved, but I shouldn't forget it. Because it feels like I tagged these videos like yesterday. Anyway, we find ourselves in kind of an interesting situation. So we're investigating a case of kind of a hit and run kind of one, where like someone driving a parade float with a giant like high-heeled shoe on it ran over a guy and crashed into this like drag club, and that guy died, and we're investigating his murder, and we found a bunch of clues, but like they don't really seem to paint much of a picture so far. The only thing we really have to go off of is the fact that this lady here, Frantasia, keeps saying really suspicious things, and as a result it makes me suspect her of crimes. I don't know that to be true, but we also have like very little like actual evidence as to what happened. Like we just keep like most of the puzzles that we've solved during the course of this case are like our ex-husband showed up and is like trying to emotionally manipulate us so that he can financially control our life. And so like he hands us a magazine and we have to solve a puzzle of what the magazine looks like before we can read it. Like we haven't found like a lot of actual clues. Like really, I feel like I've mostly summarized the entire case by just giving you the basic outline of like the shoe ran into a guy and crashed into the building, and we know like we technically know the guy's name, although I don't recall it quite off the top of my head. And like we found his shoe that came off when he got hit by a car, and like we looked at like a gauge from the float and it suggested like something hit it while it was like crashing into the building. Is when he says, "My radiator is not getting warm. Now I have to get a tool to make it bleed. Stabby McStab like a murderer." Now is that, is it possible to clarify whether you want, whether you're stabbing it out of vengeance or if there's actually like a benefit to it? Like you need to like drain old, well I guess the radiator wouldn't use coolant. I'm thinking of like a central air system, which is wrong. Hey Neko, welcome to the stream. You're just in time. Have this. God, I have not... There's something I wanted to set up along the lines of fanfare, and I put in, like, a lot of time in November, and, like, none of it worked out great. And I've tried doing a little research since then, but I've been, like, useless, man. I've gotten very little stream work done since, like, the start of December. I have to translate a word. No worries, I respect the crap out of that. I don't speak another... Oh, hey, before we start... We're gonna start counting this time really late again. I'm gonna start a prediction just like last time. How many puzzles will we solve in 3 hours? 3 hours, it's gonna count. I'm gonna count it from 6:20, even though it's currently 6:19. But like, while you consider that and whether you want to bet your points, because last week they all got incinerated, I'm gonna start doing a puzzle. If I can find it. Where's the puzzle at? Puzzle starto. So how's everybody doing? It's a 15 by 15, and there's a lot of small numbers. I don't know if you're seeing that. It feels like I must be able to finish this. Hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I sure can't, huh? That sucks. Hey, Arcadius, welcome to the stream. You are also just in time. We've just started this puzzle, and the poll's even open. You can still bet on how many puzzles we will complete today. 2 and 8 and 4. Ugh, we could get some overlap from a few of these, but I want to just like fill in a row. Is that asking so much? Maybe it honestly is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. God, there's a lot of these that have like 2 or 3 spaces of flex. Alright, I'm gonna start over here with these big number rows. So 9 from the bottom would be up to there. And if we count the other way, 1, 2, space... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had to think really hard about that because my brain went out of, like, nonogram mode. And so I'm like, wait, how do I do the math from the puzzles, the pixel puzzles? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, space. 1, 2... It should just be like that. Should be like that. So since that touches the right-hand side, that gives us a little bit of information about what the furthest right groups are going to look like for several of these rows. That's hopefully helpful in some way. 2, and then 2. Oh, that's enough information to sort out this row, right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Grief, my hand is like not steady today. 3, 6, yeah. And then the 1 is somewhere down there. But like, that's much of that row. That helpful. Got 10 spaces left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's nothing. Probably nothing. I mean, I know that this has to be part of the group of 3, but there's a lot of flexibility. Yeah, there's plenty of room for this to be the furthest right filled in thing. Whether that's likely or not. What is interesting is that I can similarly determine that, like, in these top 2 rows, this has to be part of the rightmost group. But because the furthest right group is, like, a larger number, we should be able to get some extra overlap. Because, like, obviously we can't fit the whole 6 spaces off to the right, so it means some amount of spaces in the other direction, like, necessarily have to be filled in. And the same is true here. Yeah. Still enough for that to go either direction from there. Okay. An actual skeleton. Well, wow. I appreciate the vote of confidence on 6 puzzles. I will do my very best, but I'm not confident in that. But it's good to have you here. It's been a minute. Also, it's like just a really good screen name. District heating in the building and the radiators are filled with water. When you don't use them over the summer, they get filled with air and don't warm up. You have to open the veil and wait till water dribbles out. The air gets out. Ah, I see. I see what you mean by bleeding it now. Yeah. That's along the lines of what I figured. Okay. Speaking of figuring stuff, Now, this has to be part of the top group, which is 2, and that's 3. And similarly to what we just did here, this has to be part of the top group of 5. So we can determine 3, 4. That's like a little helpful. Well, we actually also should be able to determine, if we look at this row here, there can't be like a whole group of 2 to the right of this, so it has to be part of the group of 2. So this should be filled in, and this shouldn't. And then that means that this is the next group, which means there should be an extra 1 filled in to make a closed off group of 3. And hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we should count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's right. But so if that was all the way, yeah, okay. I can't fill in. I thought I might be able to rule out that the 2 should be filled in up here, but that does not appear to be the case. Not yet. We're like filling in one of these spaces away from that being true. False Alchemist. Ah, I didn't realize you were False Alchemist. I feel like you've been here since you became an actual skeleton, but I do not recall being aware that you were also a False Alchemist. You're very good at screen names. Ahoy, Angel, welcome to the stream. And thank you for the gifted sub to Ice Bunny, which was continued earlier in the stream. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? So, oh, I see. Oh no. Is it fine? I forgot that Murder by Numbers sometimes does that. If you click in like a certain spot that's normally safe in the vast majority of windows, it decides that instead of going into the window, it will resize the window. I think it's okay. I hate that it does that. Okay, so what I wanted to look at was this row. So this has to be part of the rightmost group of 3, which means I can determine that this is like a point of overlap. I don't think that's entirely relevant by itself. But what it also determines is that this has to be part of the next group over, which would be a group of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Man, not steady. First time you have to do it by yourself. Yeah, I'd be really worried about that. But I wish you luck, Ice Bunny. I hope it goes well. This is gonna be hard, is what this is gonna be. We made more immediate progress than I would have guessed possible. Which probably at the very least means that I'm getting back in the swing of doing these puzzles. How's the puzzling going? It's going about this good. This is the first one, and I feel like this is a good start, and now I'm stuck. Not like hard stuck, mind you, but I'm like pretty not unstuck, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I need... Next would be a group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like some... I think this is overlap, so it can either be like the 4 top ones and then a space. No, that's not right. Because feasibly, this could be part of the group of 4. I think this is overlap, though. I don't know if that does anything. But I think it's true that that space has to be filled based on these constraints. That seems true. I think that's true. Actually, that is useful, because if that is true, it does tell me that this has to be part of the group of 4, because the furthest rightmost group for this row would be 1. And the only way that there could be a group of 1 to the right is for it to go there and for this to be blanked off, and then this would have to be the rest of the group of 4. Now, what does that tell me? This is... Yeah, if this is blank, then it limits where the group of 3 can go, because there has to be a group of 1 above it. So, like, this should be filled in, this shouldn't, and then that should, to make the group of 3. Doesn't tell me anything about the group of 5 there just yet. I'm getting somewhere. I feel like I almost can determine that this space is blank, but I'm not actually smart enough to prove that, I don't think. I mean, I'm seeing you, Anime. I don't know if other people in chat are. In fairness, Murder by Numbers is a weird game for chat, because if someone doesn't get me going on some sort of rant to coincide with what I'm doing, it's a lot of me muttering numbers. But I'm welcome to topics of conversation, up to and including holiday Christmas movies, the Warner Brothers Discovery merger that continues to catch fire in increasingly upsetting ways, and I don't know, just like a bunch of other stuff. Am I smart enough to prove that this space is blank? Because, like, no, not that one. This one. This one? This one. No, I was looking at the wrong thing. I don't think it's possible to prove this space is blank, which is what I wanted. I don't think that's right. One space, like, a billion, and then, like, 3. Yeah, I think that's technically possible. 3 and 2, not enough limiter there. Probably nothing here. Space 1, space 1, 2, space 3. Nah, not quite. Like, nothing down here's doing anything. 2. I mean, what's interesting about this column, I guess, is that I do know necessarily that, like, this has to be a group of 2. Well, that's interesting. The game's, like, tracking method seems to believe that if I... like, this has to be a group of 2. Because it's, like, close enough to the top that, like, the only thing it could be is, like, the top group of 2 or the second group of 2. The way it's, like, filled in. Now, would it be the case... So, like, space 1, space 1... space 1, space 1. No, I guess that's true. There's not quite enough room to fit all the rest below that if I wanted to consider this the top group of 2. So I'm pretty sure all that's filled in. Still doesn't tell me anything about the group of 5, because, like... Oh, no, wait, does it? Wait, it does, because if I filled this space in, it would actually be 6 and not 5. Yeah, so that means that the group of 5 has to go all the way to the edge, which means that this has to be filled in, and, like, obviously this is filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's fine. And that also tells me that's filled in and that's blank. Good luck filling in that 1 there. We do now also know that's exactly where a group of 2 goes. And since this top one's filled in here, we know that that's a group of 4, which then tells us... this is a group of 6, and that's a filled-in 1. Okay. I mean, I feel like I've made a lot of progress here, and I also feel like I've accomplished nothing. Oh, Anime, you're moving to Connecticut next week. Wait a minute, you're moving somewhere, like, right before Christmas because of a work opportunity? You should be on the lookout that you might be in a Hallmark movie. That sounds like the plot of, like, all the Hallmark movies. Although usually it's, like, traveling somewhere to, like, do a report on, like, a failing bed and breakfast or something like that. Oh, hang on. Because I filled in that group of 4, I also know that this is a a group of 2. And it's top group, so it's a closed group of 2 in that direction also. Don't think I have enough to work with there. I know I don't quite have enough here, so I definitely don't have this. Oh, this is 3. That's a full group of 5. Is that enough to tell me something? Hang on, I'm just gonna test this rather than think really hard about it. Yeah, okay. I have exactly enough information to finish that column, which is good in theory. 2, 3. Oh, hang on. What's... No, Oh, this is interesting. Give me a second here. 2, 3. Space. Yeah, okay. So, I'm pretty sure I know that one of the groups of 3 for this row has to, like, fit amongst these 5 spaces, so the middle one would have to be filled no matter what. But a nerve-wracking, hectic time finding an apartment and getting a flight. I believe that with no doubt at all. Ice Bunny asks, are Hallmark movies not sugar-coated cheese? I would say that there's a spectrum. There are some that are, like, campy to a potentially unreasonable degree. If you have, like, a low tolerance for camp, which I do not. One of my favorite Batmans is Adam West, so take that information as you will. I also can conclude that this is the rightmost group of 2 there. Is that the whole group of 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was about to check that, but the game sort of filled that in. That's a little helpful. I should actually be able to fill this in too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And now I know that the group of 3 is exactly there, which is like a little helpful. This feels weird. This feels like a weird one. Okay, hold on a second. So the next group down in this column needs to be a group of 4. If this is filled in here, it has to be part of the second group. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces down, then I would overlap into this space and accidentally create a group of 5. So then I know that exactly that has to be filled in, which also lines up with this 3 I didn't address. But that just serves to prove that that's a good double check. And then I think we can fill the rest of the column, because this has to make a group of 2, and then there's only 1 space left to finish the last one. And then that's the rightmost group of 3 for the bottom row. Okay. The next group for this row is 3, so this should be filled in. And... oh, hold on a second. That should be a closed group of 2 up there. And how many 1s do I need? 1, 2, 3... well, so here's the thing, is that all of these, everything below that group of 2 has to be 1, so this has to be separated and be its own group. Which also incidentally means this is the next leftmost group. So I need 2 more 1s, and I got 2 more blanks, so they look like that. So this should be a group of 2. Is this also 2? Yeah, so those are closed off like that. I don't think that gives me enough information to finish that row. We're making pretty good progress here. We have a similar situation, though, where, like, this has to be its own group at the bottom, so that space isn't filled in. But yeah, going back to your question, Ice Bunny, so technically there's, like, 2 types of Hallmark Christmas movies. They have, like, multiple channels, and, like, most of the ones that people talk about are from, like, the Hallmark main channel. And they're, like, meant to be, like, rom-coms or romantic comedies, but in truth, they're rarely particularly funny. It's just sort of a romantic movie that is lighthearted and not heavily dramatic. There is, however, also the, like, movies and mysteries channel, which tends to be more dramatic. It has stories about murder most of the rest of the year. Even though they're, like, G-rated murders, so you can't show anything or talk about anything particularly gruesome, it's kind of funny. But, like, those movies can be, like... they can still be cheesy in the dramatic way, but sometimes they're like legitimately dramatic scripts and whatnot. These alerts are still broken for reasons beyond my comprehension, so thanks, Demolition, for that. That will never work again. I don't know. Maybe if I just, like, disconnect entirely from my alert service and start over. That'll work. Okay, 30 minutes to stream time. I'll just lay on the couch for a minute. I think we've all fallen prey to some variation on that trap before. Oh, hey, check it out. I managed to narrow this down to, like, 5 spaces, which gives me 1 point of overlap for this group of 3. It's not extremely helpful, but it's more information than I thought I had. Oh, here's something interesting. So, I can't fit a group of 2 below this filled-in space, which means that it has to be part of the lowest group of 2. So, at the very least, this space has to be empty. Is it possible, in theory, I still need 3 groups of 1? So, if I was to fill this... 1, 2. Okay, so in that case, I think I actually know that this should work in this fashion. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, and then 2? Perfect. Great. Love it. Love it. Don't list it. Last stream week of 2022? That is indeed correct. This will be the last Friday, and then tomorrow will be the last Saturday, and we should resume on January 6th if I did that math correctly. And also assuming that, like, my roof doesn't cave in or something. That likes to happen in January. Bum, 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 bum. You know, I like to talk a lot about my bad luck, but the truth of the matter is that I actually have extreme luck, which I think is actually something similar to what my sister experiences with her interesting life curse. But for me, instead, it's that, like, a high percentage of the time, I'll defy the odds in a way that's, like, frustrating to me. But then, like, I will also randomly, like, misfire and have, like, things work out disproportionately well for me. So, for example, like, I won a $50 Amazon gift card in a company-wide raffle yesterday. They were doing, like, multiple drawings every day for, like, 12 days. And I won one of them. And that's exciting for me. Also on that list, you know, I'm a Magic the Gathering player. You've probably heard me talk about it at some point. And they released a, like, really exclusive, hard-to-get product not super long ago called the Countdown Kit, which is kind of like an advent calendar counting down to the 30th anniversary of Magic by having, like, a special art card from each of Magic's 30 years. And with minimal effort, I managed to get one, and I've been opening those as part of my advent calendar photo album that I've been sharing on the Discord as I've been going. And I've been doing really well at that. I got, like, the 2 most expensive cards in the set in the sort of, like, 1 in 3 chance foil. And basically any card I've, like, had a particularly vested interest in so far, I've managed to get in foil. Now, I say this knowing full well that when we finally get to the cards, there's, like, 2 cards that I, like, most wanted out of the set, and I just know, like, it can't hold up that long. I can't keep getting away with it. Also, thank Demolition. Yeah, I wanted to wear my most Christmassy stuff before the end of the year. And Shoulder Groot's been cooperating well enough. Alright, let me actually try to solve a puzzle now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just need, like, I think almost any space in this row filled out, and I can do the rest of it. Oh, hang on. I've probably got something here. So, like, in theory... Yeah, I think these both have to be filled in as part of the group of 3. Does that do anything helpful for me? Not particularly from the looks of it. Anything I can do with this? 1, 2... No, probably not. Oh, this is filled in. That means that it has to be a group of 3. And then the group of 3 has to fill those spaces in one of the adjacent ones. Yeah, I was really excited about getting the foil Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox is one of those weird cards that, like, decided it likes me. It was, like, one of the chase rares in the set it came out in, like, many years ago when I, like, basically first started seriously collecting Magic cards. And, I opened several of them. Many of them are probably not in, like, great condition now. I think I have all or most of the ones that I opened, which was, like, almost a full set. But it's still a pretty expensive card. It's actually worth a lot more than it was when it came out. But still, it's really exciting. So, like, this has to be a group of 1, right? Like, it has to be. Is there some world in which that's not true? Check something really quick. Space 1, space 1. There's a little bit of flexibility here, but I think it's actually pretty sound to say that these top ones have to be filled in. Because, like, like, if I didn't do that, then you'd have to say... If I wanted to assume that the top group wasn't a group of 2, it would be, like, 1, 1, and then, like, 2, like, yeah, there's no way. There's just no way. So I think we can say that, and that being the case, I think as we were looking at a moment ago, like 1, 1, 2, or even if that went down to like here, I think it's like necessarily the case that, like, I can't fill in all of these middle ones, but I think I can say that this has to be a group of 1, and that there should be 1 below it. I don't think actually does all that much for me in terms of solving that bottom row. Something I do know, this should be a group of 2 here. There's no longer a way to fit all of that here. And that should also tell me it's a group of 2 in this direction, and this space is blank, which means that this one at least is filled in. And then, yeah, can't quite do... Actually, wait, can I do that? Yes. No. Yes to the no. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Not chatting as much because you're playing Pokemon. Well, that's cool, Neko. I saw your post that you found some shinies in Gen 9, that's exciting. To be honest, I'm not the biggest shiny fan. I don't, like, hate them or anything, but I do feel like they've done weird stuff to, like, the design of some of the modern games that's, like, not... Oh, whoa, hold on a second. Just sort of realized that I quietly filled out these top 2 rows, like, a while ago, which is probably useful information. I don't know what to do with that, but, like, probably not nothing. Also, if this one's filled in, it's got to be the bottom group. So I know this much at least. It's the bottom 2 groups there, and then that's filled in. And by the overflow property, this has to be part of the group of 3, which means whether it goes to the bottom or reaches up, this one would be filled in either way. Which then tells us this space is blank, which is... fine. We should also know, because of this row, still need a 1 filled in, and that's the only place that can go. I don't think I could do anything with the 4 yet. 4 space. Yeah, I think just enough space that I can't do anything with that. Okay. 3 space... 1 space 2. Yeah, I think we've concluded what this looks like. 3 space 1. Yeah, it's like literally the only combination of things that fits. That's exciting. So what was the... Yeah, now I know this whole row. That was the one I was looking for. Got another group of 1 sorted there. Still a lot of flexibility. Don't want to mess with that. Okay, so hold on. I'm looking for a bottom group in this column to be 2. If I try to fill this space in, it makes a group of 3. So it can't be the group of 2, which tells me where it should go, and fills in a couple other things by process of elimination. We also would know that this is blank because the next group from the bottom should be 1. And yeah, that should be how that looks. And I need 3 groups of 1, so I guess that's just all the rest of those. Group of 1 there, group of 1 there, and group of 2 in this case. And this should be 3 and 1. This is fun. This one should be 2 and 1 and 1. So we know that this should be a group of 2, and that should be the one that's filled in there, which then tells us where that group of 4 goes for that column. This is now 2, 1, 1. Now, there's only a group of 2 left, which means that that's closed off. Either reaches up to here, which it can't do because this row is finished, or fills in here, which is the only possibility for multiple reasons. However, only missing groups of 1 for that column, which means that's where that group of 3 goes. And this should be filled in as part of the group of 2 for the row. What do I need here? 2. Both of these should be filled in. And that should be filled in, which means that shouldn't, which means that should. And this should, and this one should. Alright. That felt like that was going quicker than it actually was, but that wasn't as hard as it should have been. Does that description mean anything to anyone? Was that useful information? Have I been playing Scarlet Violet? No, I haven't. I asked for it for Christmas. Because there's been no time. When would I have played it? Which I know you don't have a frame of reference for, but, like, no, I unfortunately have not. Although, to be honest, it's the least excited I've ever been for a mainline Pokemon game. Because, I mean, not just, like, the bugginess notwithstanding. I know that they patched some of that. But, like, I just am not a fan of the direction they've taken the open world thing. I'm not opposed to an open world Pokemon game, but like a lot of the elements I'm aware of feel like filler in a way that like dilutes what's like fun about Pokemon to me, so I'm like not totally excited about it. I do want to try it, but like it's just part of the reason why it's like I'm not tripping over myself to start playing right away. Did we rank up to D? No, we are sub D. Oh, it's a portable computer. There's a note attached, a perfectly normal thing to find on a laptop that you found at a crime scene in a drag club. For the new job, I spoke to your mom. She's on board. Give it some thought, Ryan.
Darn.
Oh, that's right. The next puzzle was like, he left another thing for us? God, he sucks so bad. Is the last murder... I assume the last case is also a murder. The game is called Murder by Numbers. It's not just Phoenix Wright where I assume every case is a murder because it's usually a murder. Is the last murder us killing Ryan because he deserves it and no jury would convict us? I also hope I enjoy it when I play, but thank you, Neko. I appreciate the sentiment. More than any, like the biggest thing I'm aware of, and I don't really know entirely how the system works, Pokemon does not need crafting. Like, I know I've gone on this rant before. Adding crafting to games does not make them better. Crafting in and of itself isn't bad, but this weird notion that, like, every game needs crafting because Minecraft was popular and is still popular with a certain audience it's just wrong. Like, adding, like, a whole bunch of inventory management and, like, generally useless items that you have to stockpile to make, like, slightly less useless items is one of the most infuriating things that everyone decided all games need to have. It's so dumb. I dislike it so intensely. Last case is less interesting than that. You know, I'm just gonna... it's still my operating theory, and I'm just gonna assume there's a possibility you're trying to throw me off, because it seems very likely that we're gonna murder him. Using money to solve things as usual. No thanks, chuck it in the trash. I see. Unwanted electronics are to be disposed of. Like me. Scout, that's not what I meant. Let's keep it. Maybe you could use some of the parts yourself or something. An upgrade would be nice. I am basically a VCR. Perhaps I could upgrade my CPU. Ooh, or maybe replace my screen with a colored TFT panel. Or... that was a close one. Poor guy. Alright, it's time to talk to Fantasia, the only suspect that exists in the case. What can I get you, dear? Oh, right, I went into bartender mode for a second. Hey, so... what was the connection to Roz? We found something that mentioned Roz, and we were like, do you know Roz? And Fran was like, yeah, Roz and the dead guy, whose name Vasco doesn't remember, were, like, talking for months. When we were talking earlier, you mentioned something about Roz. The one mentioned in Oliver's diary? Oliver is the dead guy, Oliver Laurel. And, I forgot that we found a diary. It kind of looked like Ditto's parents fighting. Don't tell him, he might get upset. Oh, yes, right. Well, I was hoping not to bring her into this, but Roz Mosis is one of our regular performers here. She runs a couple of nights a week. She and Oliver, they knew each other. Now, I'm gonna assume that's meant to be, like, a euphemism, because otherwise, like, there's no need to emphasize that point. But, she runs a couple nights? Is her performance that she, like, jogs? This just seems like a weird way to saying, like, she performs. How do Roz and Oliver know each other? I mean, place your bets? Like I said, Roz runs quite a few nights here, and Oliver was a regular. One of the last entries in Oliver's diary read, "She doesn't understand me. Despite everything she hid from me, I'm the one that's ended up in the cold." Well, they always seem to get on fine. I'd often see Oliver talking to her at the end of the night. But then a few nights ago, they had a huge argument. Things turned nasty, and Roz threw Oliver out. Made me ban him from the premises. Every night since then, Oliver's been outside, completely bladdered, as KC might say. Oh, this reminds me. Hey, Neko, I was watching, like, the millionth Christmas movie released this year that's set in England, because it's like a really popular destination. I feel like there must have been a tax credit. Someone recommended this one to me. It's on Amazon Prime. And I watched it, and it had British characters saying cuppa, and I know that you insist that that's not a real thing, and frankly, I don't have a horse in that race, but I immediately thought of you and the fact that you'd be incensed that a British person would say cuppa in, like a movie. I don't know if it was written by Americans. There's, like, a lot of, like, British cultural stuff in it, so it felt like it was mostly legit. Anyway, completely bladdered is a thing I've never heard anyone say. I don't know if that's real. It means he was drunk. Very drunk. He begged me to be let in, but what's the use of barring someone if you reverse it immediately? So we just stayed out there, shouting and screaming at everyone. Wasn't great for business, but like I said, he was a troubled soul. I mean, if he's like that, if he's like drunk and like accosting people, like, you maybe need to call the police even if you feel bad for him. I don't know. Oh, cuppa is real, but not spot of tea. This distinction was lost on me. That's fair enough. So many recognizable British actors. I'll be honest, I sort of recognized one of them. I probably should be able to recognize more, but I don't know. Hey, Castlearg, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Had he been sleeping out there too? I don't think so. He's certainly never been around in the daytime. Why do you ask? His belongings were in bags outside his apartment, so it looks like he'd been evicted from his residence. Might also explain why he was in front of the club this morning. Was he outside when you left the club last night? Not that I saw, but I lock everything from inside, then leave through the back door. Gonna let that one sit for a second. Then I wouldn't have seen him, since, if he was there. Where Roz at? You know where Roz is right now? On her way here. That detective of yours asked me to ring her, but it turns out she was on her way here anyway. How interesting. Any ETA? Roz comes when she comes. Sure, I'll let that one sit too. She's kind of a free spirit. I mean, I haven't asked her about these things. I suppose I could. I don't expect anything to come from it. We found some smashed glass outside. If it's smashed glass you're looking for, I've got a load on the inside, too, just behind you. Oh, I said the car crashed into a window? I'm not sure we had properly established that. It took me a minute. I'm like, is that like a inexplicable British drag queenism? No, its curvature suggests it was part of a bottle. We were thinking it might be Sambuca? Sambuca? Vasco still doesn't know what this is. I know what kombucha is. I don't know what this is. We don't get many people drinking that here, although come to think of it, it was Ollie's drink of choice. So it could have belonged to him? He's been out there most nights this week, and he seemed pretty drunk, so it's definitely possible. We usually clean the outside area just before we open up, and there wasn't any glass yesterday, so it must have been from last night. Interesting. Coat? Sticky coat? Sticky smelly coat? Fran, is this sticky smelly coat yours? No, I think... Oh no. Okay, so it's Roz Mosis. Hi, she looks like this. What does she sound like, and why is she carrying a toilet brush? I assume it's meant to be like a folding fan, but it's a toilet brush. Especially given the way that she charged in here. I feel like it's a toilet brush. Eccentric mama. That's a meaningless... That's like a... What's the opposite of an oxymoron? It's just redundant. Like a chain smoker. Oh. Like the anime girl? Is that a reference to a particular anime girl, Sarah? Or just like the archetypal, quintessential anime girl? Given the text of this line of dialogue, I feel like Chainsmoker might be it. What do you think you're doing with my coat, huh? No, I was just... Cool your jets, I was only pulling your leg. Well, I'll be. She sure did a number on the front, didn't they? You all okay, Fran? I'm fine, if just a little shaken. When I find who did this, I'll make them wish they never left their mama's pouch. Now, why are we assuming that a marsupial did this? Oh, Anna, this is Roz Mosis, the queen we were talking about. I knew it. I knew my ears were burning. Well, pleasure to meet you. Say, you look awful familiar. Got it. I saw you in Celeb Life, right? Haven't missed an issue for 10 years. Probably. I don't pay much attention to that stuff. Didn't you say that Celeb Life was garbage for people that don't have lives themselves? What did that little rust bucket say to me? Anyway, could I have a quick word? I'm not done with you, Fran. I'm done with you, Fran. Well now, what can I do you for? Tell me about your interests. Do you like long walks on the beach? You work here, right? Couple of nights a week, yeah. Some nights I perform, some nights I host. But either way, it's full-on Roz Mosis. Full-on is apt. You mean the look? Yeah, that's the point. One of our regulars once described my look as Like a punch in the face personified. And he was one of the few I hadn't actually punched. Honor, she scares me. How did you know that dead... How'd you know Corpse Fellow? What? Who's the victim? His name was Oliver Laurel. What? No. I hear you had a disagreement with him a few days ago? It sure was a mess, yeah. To be honest, I don't really know how it happened, but what was it about? All he was working a lot of stuff out, you know? A lot of people here are, in the beginning at least, he came from a very strict background. Christian, Catholic, something to begin with a C. Had lots of repressed shame, like probably Catholic. His parents kicked him out and, well, he came here. I think he was looking for his tribe. How'd you end up in an argument? Well, he told me he liked drag queens. He thought he was gay, but there was something about drag queens tickled his pickle, I guess. Happens more than you'd think. Perhaps. And a few days back, he told me that he liked me. Liked me. I was flattered, of course, but... Well, I had to tell him I'm not a dude. And that's when things went south. Wait, you're a woman? Anyway, I'm just gonna ignore that. It made poor Ollie more confused. I think in the wrong way. He thought he was turning me down, which made me see red, and I hit him. Fran thought he'd hit me, so she barred him. We have a very strict policy about any kind of violence or threatening behavior. Now that doesn't quite match up. Didn't Fran suggest that Roz insisted he get kicked out? That was the impression I got. Poor guy was blind. I don't know what you mean. I mean, probably blinded by Roz's look here. Well, from the customers, at least. I was gonna get him unbarred when it all calmed down, but I didn't get a chance. He sort of got run over by a parade float. You're a female drag queen? I mean, isn't there sort of a contradiction in terms buried in there? Like, if you're a female who dresses as a female and performs at a drag club, like, don't you have to be a guy to be a drag queen? Maybe I just don't know. I mean, not this exact situation, but I feel like I've had to ask this type of question a great deal in my professional life because people are so bad at answering questions. I hope you don't mind, but I just like to make sure I have this totally straight, which is an interesting word choice. You're a drag queen, but you're a woman? Sure am. I'm what some call a bio queen, which means I came out of my mama's hidey hole with all the female equipment. Oh my god. The entire construction of that sentence is too much for Vasco. Wow. Wow. I just assumed all drag queens were men. How? I came to LA expecting to find my fortune in Hollywood. Of course, I was wet behind the ears then. Thought there'd be parts for someone that looks like me, didn't I? When the truth sunk in, I figured I'd get into comedy. That morphed into performance, which became... whatever you call this. Never really felt much at home with female gender stereotypes, so Roz is my way of taking them to the extreme. Kinda giving you everything all at once, you know? Well, I'm glad everywhere doesn't factor into that everything all at once. Why can you not? Oh, I see. Hey, did anyone else hear about? They've made some change to follow emotes that I'm like a little unclear of. I think the way it works now is that if you are subscribed to someone's channel, you can use their follow emotes everywhere, but you may also have to subscribe to the channel that you're watching to use your existing follow emotes there. I don't know. If someone understands it better than I do, let me know. But I was like reading that and I'm like, that's exciting. Character that's made Vasco cringe most in 2022. Huh, is that true? Not a big... I've never been a big fan of cringe used in that way, largely just because I feel like it's not descriptive enough. I mean, I don't think it's, like, worse than Oda's dad, but obviously the Oda's dad reveal was, like, years ago. This year? Maybe. I mean, Trooper was long enough ago that doesn't factor either, but man, the innkeeper in Trooperbrook was also a force to be reckoned with. You get much work? Most of the gay clubs won't hire me because I'm not a guy. Seems hyperfemininity is not for the boys. Who'd have thought it, huh? I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, like, Chikara's pretty bad. What's his face? Komeji is, like, also extremely bad. Like, he just shouldn't exist. Chikara was so happy. Well, like I just said, Alcadius, like, in fairness to Demolition's assertion, like the discovery of Oda's dad was when we first played Somnium Files. It's actually really funny. Just today, I was reading on Reddit. Someone on the Zero Escape subreddit was asking, like, should I play Nirvana Initiative? What was the exact phrase? It was like, I think they were like, if I like Virtue's Last Reward most out of, like, the nonary games, and I thought that Somnium Files was okay, like, will I like Nirvana Initiative? And, like, I enjoyed that thread mostly because everyone seemed to have the same impression that I did. They're like, well, I mean, did you like Zero Time Dilemma? Because it's kind of like that. Some people say it's like that, but, like, better. But it's kind of its own thing, and it's, well, Like, no one wanted to say it was good, and no one wanted to say it was bad, but mostly people were circling the drain on, like, well, if you're a really specific type of person, you might actually like Nirvana Initiative at face value. Zero Time Dilemma had some good ideas. So, like, here's the thing, is, like, Zero Time Dilemma has some good ideas. I'm not sure if any of them are really executed well. Nirvana Initiative uses some of those same ideas, and there's, like, even a point in the playthrough, if you go back, where I'm pretty sure I was, like, talking about, like, okay, like, we might be heading down a route that's, like, Zero Time Dilemma adjacent with the possibility of it being better. And then by the time we got to the end, I'm like, at best, this is lateral. We should be able to do better by now, considering the failure of Zero Time Dilemma, and yet we didn't, and I'm definitely mad about it. Brand's been good to me, though. She knew I could entertain a crowd, and that was all she cared about. Could you tell me about your whereabouts last night? Sure, I was working here till about 11:30 p.m., and then I went straight home. Did you see Oliver on your way out? Huh? Can't say I did. Huh. Only Fran mentioned that he was outside the club most nights recently, and obviously he was there when he... Oh, yeah, I saw him out there a couple times this week, but he wasn't always out there, you know? He'd come and go, but yeah, he wasn't there when I left last night. No. Wow, okay, yeah, the two of them are in cahoots. Let me ask about this smelly, sticky coat. I don't want to, but I think I have to. Yeah, that's basically my feeling, Castle Arg, is, like, I'm not opposed to, like, taking those ideas and trying to reimagine them in, like, the new project that he's working on, because, like, there were good ideas. But the fact that, like, they weren't really significantly improved upon is just like, but it didn't work last time, and you changed almost nothing, so it's just bad. It's just more bad. Yeah, I mean, and I think I said this at the time, too, when we were playing the game of, like, and I won't spoil it in case you're watching this and haven't seen it and you want to go back and watch it, but, like, what I would argue is, like, the biggest reveal of Nirvana Initiative, like, needs to be explained so thoroughly that it's just, it, like, narratively makes no sense. Like, if you have to go to that much trouble to justify the twist, it's, like, doing the, like, a good twist, like, recontextualizes the rest of the story. This twist required you to, like, do a bunch of mental gymnastics to even accept it as the truth. Like, it was just so ridiculous. Planning on letting me have my coat back at any point? We detected a large stain on this coat. Most likely Sambuca or Sambucha. I still don't know. And? So what? We found this broken glass outside also. Oh, probably from a beer bottle or something, right? People are always dropping stuff out there. Nervous laugh. Smells like Sambucha to me. What are you, some kind of dog? Not sure what all this is about. I didn't even see Oliver last night. You might want to reconsider that statement. Where's my Phoenix Wright music? Dun, 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 dun. I apologize to anyone who wanted puzzles to get done. This conversation's taking forever. What's that, darling? Because I think you did see him. Oh, yeah? What makes you think that? I mean, even I can't get this one wrong, right? Like, the only reason we're even talking about this is because we showed the coat and the bottle. And the coat and the bottle are linked by the fact that they are Sambuca, which is maybe the thing to call it. Oh yeah, Deus Ex Mama is, like, literally the worst thing. It might be worse than Zero Time Dilemma's effort to, like, deal with its twist. But yeah, like, the sneaker means basically nothing. Trying to involve the smash dial suggests that I'm, like, immediately implicating her directly in the murder, which I can't do, but, like, for where we're at now, coat and bottle, potion. Oh, now I get my music. Am I in critical condition? This feels like Resonance of Fate music, not Phoenix Wright music. We found this bottle smashed outside near the crash site. It's pretty clear that it's a bottle of Sambuca. And? Well, we know that it was Ollie's favorite drink, and we also know this is your coat's covered in the same stuff I can't pronounce. What are you trying to insinuate, huh? Why don't you come out and say it? Come on, Roz. No good can come from hiding the truth. Okay, fine. So maybe I did see Ollie last night. When I was leaving, he was out there. He came at me yelling about how he'd lost everything, his home, and now his friends. That's when he spilled his Sambuca on me, and I saw red, and, well, I might have swung my bag at him once or twice, or, like, sent him to the hospital, I don't know. Why didn't you tell us this earlier? Because it's obviously incredibly suspicious, and it's totally unrelated to the crash. Besides, you ain't even a police officer. Alright, now you just made me mad. No, she's not, but I am. Nani? I want to talk to you. Get a proper statement. And we'll do it at the station, given that you've lied to us already. I don't trust you not to tamper with evidence. But I... Good work with that inconsistency, Honor. I helped too. Please love me. Listen, while I'm handling this, there's something I want you to take a look at. Please don't tell me it's more busy work. Oh, it's a puzzle. God, we got there. It's taken forever. He's finished the season finale of Puppet History. I've only watched like a couple episodes of that. One of my coworkers is big into it. I've been really slowly working my way through the latest season of JoJo, and I feel like it's falling into the same trap that Golden Wind did. So I'm like a little disappointed. I kind of thought it might change, but at this point I think I still strongly feel that Diamond is Unbreakable is the best season so far. Guess we'll start with 9-2, huh? Which for some reason I want to say is this, but hang on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Up by 1, I think. Really? I'm surprised by that, Alcadius. Your favorite is Battle Tendency? I thought for sure, with all the references you make to the stands, that you would be among the people who's like, just skip Season 1 and go straight to the stands. But yeah, I rank Battle Tendency pretty high too, to be honest. I assume I rank it higher than most people do, based on my impression of the fan base. God, this one's gonna be tough. Hold on. So we're 15 by 15 again. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I should be able to do, like, most of this. Base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Base 1, 2, or like 1, 2. Base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's how that works. I think that's right. Generally, people do like part 2, but like stands more. That's fair. I think that's fair. But I you know, limited experience, but I'd gotten the impression that at least some people were like hardcore, like, I feel like I've heard people say, like, literally skip the stuff that comes before the stand battles. And, like, honestly, like, Battle Tendency is, like, pretty good. I like the whole, oh, what is it called? Oh no, it's been long enough that I've forgotten the proprietary word for, like, the chakra power from breathing energy. But, like, that, I thought there were, like, a lot of cool ideas from that I think are genuinely better than, like, some of the intensely stupid stand battles that come from, Golden Wind and Stone Ocean. Like, I just watched Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was like, come on. Come on with Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, the resolution of that is so stupid. Hamon? How do you pronounce that? I know they said it a million times. Hamon? Hamon? But yeah, that's right. You know you know what's up. It's your jam. Okay, so I think it is true that this base has to be... No, this line of reasoning is useful. Hamon. Okay. Like the Spanish word for ham. I don't think I knew the Spanish word for ham. Okay, check it out. So, this should be filled... I believe that these purple overlaps are legit. I'm going to leave them there. I think all of those are correct. So because it has to be part of the leftmost group of 4, that means it definitely has to extend 3 out. It can either reach to this side or not, but if this space is filled in, that's how it's got to go. Not helpful here. Should be helpful here? I think that's accurate. None of the rest of those are super good. Could be 11, 12, 13. Could probably do something similar. So hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, space. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, space, whatever. 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. Space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? It's taking a gamble, but we're early enough on that I'm just going to commit to this. So if this is true, that means that this should be the topmost group, which is 1, which then necessarily means that this is where that group of 4 goes. This would also be its own group of 1. Here we would count down 3. Here we would count down 4. The rightmost group is 4. Can't fit to the right of this, so it has to be part of this, and we know one of its boundaries. So that would mean that that group of 4 goes there. I don't have one filled in, so I can't do the same thing here, even though there's a chance that it's just those filled to the wall. He says, I was actually talking with one of my managers about JoJo and how hard it is to recommend because you have to be somewhat immersed in stupid anime stuff to appreciate it. Yeah! I mean, there are a lot of good anime that kind of require you to be willing to, like, go in on how ridiculous anime can get. But I do think JoJo's on, like, the far end of that spectrum. Like, when it decides to go, like, stupid anime nonsense, it dials it to, like, 15 out of 10. Like, it's just... is hardcore. Is not messing around. So, using that similar reasoning from before, the leftmost group of 7 can either reach to this, or as far as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could go to there. It should mean that all of those spaces are filled in, assuming that this is correct. Which, again, I'm just assuming that's true. Is that useful to me in some way? Well, if we look at this column, there is no way for there to be a group of 4 between this X'd out space and here. Which means that this has to be part of the next group down. Which means that it has to be part of the group of 4. Do I have enough boundary for that to be meaningful? Let me check something. 2 space 1. 1, 2, 3. Nah, I don't think I want to be able to do something there, and maybe if you were smarter than me, you could sort out what that looks like, but I don't have it. That's not it. Space. 1 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know for sure that this is also part of the group of 6 for this column, but I don't think I can do anything meaningful there either. So let me try something. Like in theory, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or in space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not a lot, but I'll take that as extra overlap information. Continuing greetings, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Thank you for the 65-month resub at tier 3. That's so much support. You're gracious, thank you. And thanks for being here. I hope your day's going well. I forgot to message you today because I got so caught up in trying to stay on top of work. Yeah, I keep finding these like little things that should be useful, but they're not though. Like as an example, I know that this. Oh, actually. Ooh, hold on a second. So, assuming that all my deductions so far are correct, these 2 spaces next to each other are filled in. What that means is that they can't be part of either of the groups of 1 that are supposed to be further to the right. And there's only one configuration that lets there be 2 groups of 1 over there, which then also tells us exactly how that fits in there. And also tells me, again, just assuming all this is correct, this has to be the top group of 1 because I can't fit 1 above it, which means that's filled in like that. Which means this has to be filled in. It's like 1 flex space of how that group of 6 fits there. But that also like fills in that top group of 3 there and makes that a finished group of 2, finished group of 2, to be determined. And this has to be part of the top group of 4, so it can either reach to the top or down this far. What that also tells us is this is our second from the left group of 1, and then this should be a point of overlap for where the 3 can fit there. But that's the fact that that's blanked out should also tell us that this is precisely where that group of 3 goes, which then sorts that. Similar, we've been doing a lot of this, what I call the overload overlap, but like this has to be part of a group of 5, so it has to be able to reach at least 4 spaces from the edge. So like those should be filled in. This can't be filled in because the topmost group is 3, which, interestingly, it doesn't tell me exactly where the group of 4 goes, but this should be filled in because I need the group of 1 for the far right there. And it does tell me that that's filled in, which means that that's part of the group of 6, which then again means that it needs to be able to reach at least 5 spaces beyond that. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that makes this a group of 4. That means that has to be a group of 2 down for that column. 2, 3, 4, space. Hold on. 2. No, I should do this in black to alternate, because I could easily get confused here. 1, 2, 3, 4, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3. I think that's how that goes. I want to go through multiple clicks to turn those purple. It's fine. I think those go there. And then assuming that's true, that tells us that this would be the second group of 1 from the top. It would also tell us that's the top group of 4 there, and fill in the group of 4 there, and make that the finished group of 5. Do we get any information from this? I mean, it has to be part of the group of 6 in the middle. Oh no, wait. I don't have the 1 here. I don't have the 1 in this column, so that could be the 1. Okay, I'll leave that there. For the top 2 groups in this column are 2. If I try to fill this space down, it would make a group of 3, which tells me that this is second group of 2. Then tells me that's an individual group of 1, which means that that group of 3 reaches all the way to the left. Yeah. Yeah, I know that this space can't be anything. So I'm only looking for 1 more space to fill out the group of 3 here. And it could go on either side, but it can't reach all the way to here. Is approaching... Oh, hang on. Because this is blank and could have sorted this a while ago. But I need a group of 6 here, so both of these need to be filled in. And then that makes finished group there. And then that should be a point of overlap for where the 2 can fit. Actually, it shouldn't be possible for this space to be filled in. Because if we filled this space, we'd have to count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'd run up against this, which would mean we'd have a group of 5 instead of 4. So this should be blank, and that should be a group of 4. That means that's filled, which means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 space. Okay, that's not bad. By the principle of overlap, as I call it, this needs to be part of the second group in its row, which is a group of 4. It needs to be able to reach at least 3 additional spaces out that way. It should tell us that this is part of the only leftover group of 2, so neither of those can be filled. Which then, in turn, means that this has to be blank, because the only thing I need from that column is another group of 2. So this far over, there's only, like, groups of 1, so that should be by itself. And then, like, in theory... 1, 2... 6... Yeah. These have to be filled in like this. I don't know where the 7 ends up, but, like, the 7 can't reach this far, which leaves only 1 space for that last group of 1 I'm missing. Okay, feel good about all that. Oh, hang on a second. At some point, I made that a full group of 4. Which I guess also makes that. And then by extension, that should be filled in because the next group should be 3. Which tells us that's filled in because that should be a group of 4 for the row. What am I looking at here? 1, and then the next group should be 2, so that should be filled in. That makes a group of 3, so that continues to check out. 2 and 3. I don't think I have enough there. Although, I should be able to do this row, right? Like, this has to be a group of 3, and this has to be a group of 3. And then I already have 3 1s filled in, so that should be blank. And so what does that tell us? That's the starting point for the second group in this column, so I should be able to mark that specifically. And then that tells us 3, 4, 6, 7, where the 7 goes. And then, hold on, 1, 2... It should be the third group of 1 for that column. This... 4 should be a group of 1 for that column. It's done yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that should be closed off. Oh, this is the first group of 3. The only remaining groups for that row are 1. That should be isolated. I know where that group of 3 terminates. That also tells me 2, 2. That should be a group of 1. 2, 2, 1, 1. And there's so few spaces left that I know 2 of them have to be filled for that missing group of 3. I know that this has to be part of the leftmost group, and this space can't be filled because it would make the leftmost group 3 or more. So I know that that reaches to there. I also know because of the limited spaces for the bottom group of 4 for that column to go. It does... Doing it this way tells me exactly where that group of 5 ends up. Hey, is anyone actually able to follow along with this? It's tough. We're making, like, we're going at a pretty good pace considering the level of difficulty, I feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I do worry that that makes it difficult to track. Oh, this is actually blank because I already have my group of 2, which means that's filled in. And I know that's filled in to make the leftmost group there. And that tracks in all directions. You'll love to see that. Don't know that yet. Okay. This should be isolated. I did something weird here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not so much weird. I thought I already counted this, but the thing I was just counting was this one. So, no worries there. But because I've marked that, I now know that this space is filled and exactly what that row looks like. Also know that this closes both of those groups. Perfect. Love to keep seeing that work out. So 3. Next group should be 1, so that's got to be closed off like that. Am I missing 2? Yeah, not enough information yet. Nothing there. This one, nah, not that. Quite have enough there, don't have enough there. 3, 3. Ooh, I do think I have enough to finish this, right? I got 5 spaces and I need 2 groups of 2. 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, that looks good. That's probably useful for something. I don't know what yet. So this should also be a group of 1. I can't fit another 1 between them. Which means 2 goes somewhere over here. Oh, I do know I'm missing a group of 4. There's only one place it can fit in this row now. Don't know if it goes all the way to the edge or not, but that should be right. I think this has to be a group of 1. No, wait, hold on. I have 2 and I need 4. No, I was miscounting that. That is an erroneous conclusion. One thing I do know, though, hope this checks out. it should be the case we're only missing one group of 2 for this row. So anything that can't connect to that one filled-in space should be blocked off. So bottom group here is 2, 1, and 1. Okay, that still looks good. Does that help me to do anything? 2, 4, not really. I'm just looking for a group of 1 there. 1, 2, 3, 2. I think I've just like filled in this one, right? 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. Yeah, okay, that column's done. 1, 6, 1. That should be done too. 1, 1, 1. 2, 1, right? 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, that should be like that, which should make that the middle group of 1 there and block off anything that's not part of that or the unfinished group of 4. I'm close, but I don't have that yet. Who's here too? Oh, hang on. What am I looking at here? This might be helpful. 3, 1. Okay, there's only groups of 1 that are unaccounted for here, which means that that should be by itself. And that tells me that the group of 2 for this column can't go here and must contain this space. That also tells me this is filled in. 3, 4, 2. Yeah, that's right. And that should also be the middle group of 2 for this column, which is finished by putting that in. And that should be the last space for this row as well. 1, 3, and 3 groups of 1. Okay. Don't know that. 3 and 2, don't know that. No. I do know, like, these can't be part of the group of 3. These 2 have to be part of the group of 3. Which means this has to be filled in so that it can be separated from this 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. So this one should be filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3. Right. Okay. Only have 1 space. Is it filled in or not filled in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. That's closed off. That means that that's a group of 2. Means that's a group of 2. That's a group of 4. And these 2 are filled in, right? 3, 1, 1, 2. Okay. Okay. That all felt pretty good. There was no point, even though I made some like pretty wild leaps early in that one. There's no point at which I thought I hit a dead end. I don't know if this is a more efficient way to do this. I think it's more annoying to listen to. Can anyone confirm that? One thing I can confirm is that the game doesn't like it if I do that. This is rough. Because now I don't know how to get the game to recognize that I did it. Because it's like not registering like a ton of stuff. And apparently the game hates it if you do that. Which I guess is good information to have. I can't specifically think of a reason why that should break the game. But at least now I know that. Why does it not like this column? There's nothing wrong with this column as far as I can tell. But if I fill that space in, it gets mad. Oh, it's gonna be a colossal disaster. Am I crazy? I feel like this shouldn't be breakable in this fashion. I don't feel like it should be possible to have this happen. So are there just like a series of trick X's I can like... Here's a thought. What if I remove every X? What if I just remove all of the X's and make this incredibly confusing to look at? It kind of seems to like that. It seems like this is somehow a solution to this problem. I'm not totally sure why this is true, but this appears to work. Chat is having no response to this, so I do feel insane right now. But I'm pretty sure that this is happening. Pretty sure. Huh? This is very dumb. Yeah, that should be empty. That was probably an error from having to try and like correct the game's like inability to detect the correct solution. Because I've been like doing like sweeping gestures. One. And this should be filled in. Yeah. Is it a map of Philadelphia? No, it's an awards photo. Wait, what were we even... Where did this come from? What's the... the detective said he wanted us to take a look at Banner, Michael, and then he held out what's clearly an awards photo and not like a printer paper, like low on toner or whatever. But like that was like, so maybe like it's not like, you could maybe argue that I shouldn't like try to like paint all the squares in at once, but like I legitimately don't think it should be possible for the game to do like all the square, like what does the game do to detect that the puzzle is done? Because like shouldn't it just detect what squares are filled in? I don't understand where this glitch comes from. The photo was the camera blind too. I mean, there's clearly something wrong with like the chemicals or the camera apparatus. Hey, we got the D. That's what we wanted at the drag club, right? Wait, what? How on earth do you have this? You recognize it? This is a photo of the Miss Terry cast and crew at the Starshine Awards. The year we won Best New Show, but it looks like Blake's face has been circled. We found it in Frank Pritchell's, Tully's apartment. I'm convinced there was more to his death, so I've been investigating on the side. But that doesn't make any sense. KC took this photo. He used my camera. And when I got it developed, I gave it to Mom. That's the only copy. Wow. So if Sharon had it, how did it end up at Frank's apartment? I guess the best place to get that answer is straight from the horse's mouth. Do you know a talking horse? I don't know another way to solve this case. Don't tell her I called her that, okay? I mean, until you said that just now, I don't think anyone was assuming that you were literally calling her a horse. But now I definitely think that. A new mystery! Let's head back to her apartment. Screw this stupid case. I don't care anymore about the murder. Is everyone... Yeah, so, like, on the one hand, Alcadius, like, I get it. Like, you know, it's a puzzle game. The point is to do nonogram puzzles. It's sort of a conceit of the game. But, like, I'm kind of there with you as, like, why does everyone hide that? Because it's, like, in this case in particular, there's been a lot of, like, instead of us looking for clues, like, someone just walks up and they're like, why don't you take a look at this? And then you'd solve a puzzle, and it's just a laptop, and it's like, no, it's just a laptop. Like, previous to this case, like, there's been at least, like, a vague, like, understanding that Scout is having to, like, detect for things that could be clues, with some relatively rare exceptions. But this case has been, like, pretty heavily dominated by, like, I found this in the Lost and Found, and then you solve an Onogram puzzle, and then you can look at it. Is there suddenly some conceit I'm unaware of where Honor has some sort of, like, visual impairment and, like, must solve nonogram puzzles to, like, descramble her own sense of sight? Oh, I think I skipped that line of dialogue. Something about being attached to the apartment. I think we're gonna burn it down so we don't have to talk to the horse. Fine, let's go see Mom. I think I was specifically told to never talk to anyone if it's possible that a puzzle exists, but I'm just gonna say regardless. And now, we should be able to ask KC about the photo, but, like, the game wants me not to do that, so I won't. Oh, now I see why this exists. This is clunky and maybe unnecessary, but it's fine. Calmed down, have we? Mom. Well, are you ready to be civil? Really need to get that key back from you. Over my dead body. Don't tempt me. Don't threaten me with a good time. I guess I should talk to her first before presenting the photo. Well, what was so urgent that you had to come down to the club and talk to me? You know exactly what it is. You're doing this detective stuff again. I'm good at it. I have a gift. I shovel well. You know that Scout and I worked out who killed Dick Stanford. I didn't say you wouldn't be good at it. If anything, that's what I'm worried about. Look, you've said your piece, Mom. You're scared, I get it. Like, I think I tend to side with Honor here because the mom's trying to, like, tell her, like, what to do with her whole life, and, like, that's not super chill. But, like, this is so dismissive. It's like the mom's like, I want to have a conversation. She says, like, one thing, and she's like, you said everything you could possibly say on the subject. Like, I don't know if that's true. I don't take pleasure in causing you stress, despite what you might think, but I can't hold myself back because of you. I'm good at this. I enjoy it. Even Detective Cross has come around. But what if you die? What's the point in being scared of dying that you don't ever live? Oh, how very poetic. But that doesn't change anything. But that was just so inherently dismissive. Is there anything else, or like... Don't think this is over, Honor. I can't let you make the same mistakes your father did. God knows he had his faults, but... I think the answer to my question was no, there's nothing else. Take a look at photo, Sharon. Ah, what are you showing me that for? Don't you remember? This is the photo I gave you from when we won our Starshine last year. I remember, but why do you have it? The real question, Mom, is why you don't have it. I gave you this photo for a reason, because I thought it might finally make you proud to see me successful. Should have realized I was trying to get blood out of a stone. Oh, Honor, stop being so dramatic. Sure, you won Best Supporting Actress for a television dramedy, but I don't see any reason why you should be so dramatic. Just because I don't agree with most of your decisions doesn't mean I'm not proud of you. I just want to manipulate every aspect of your life until I have full control of who you are. Wait, what was that part about being proud of me? I definitely want to talk more about this, but the photo is kind of important. This one, I think I gave it to Ryan. If Sharon loves Ryan so much, why doesn't she marry him? He says, when someone keeps asking you the same thing over and over again, it tends to make you short. No, that's fair. That is fair. But, like, I don't know. It's just... I feel like Honor's trying to frame this like she's making, like, a good faith effort to hear her out. And she's not really doing that, but you're right in that, like, maybe this has gone on long enough that it doesn't really warrant additional opportunities to go into it at great length. It's just something about the way Honor's presented her stance here that makes it feel like she's, like, being a little disingenuous with her approach. Again, I don't think she's unfounded. I just feel like she's, like, not quite representing herself. You what? Nani? Oh, don't start all that again. It was during the divorce. I met with him hoping you two could sort everything out. Showed him the photo to remind him how happy you could be. I wanted him to try. Yes, if he could have it, and well, I thought it might help. Why not? So if Ryan had this photo, how did it end up at Frank's? I mean, Ryan's, like, responsible for everything. He's the big boss. Honor, I think I have made a connection. Ryan hired Frank to seduce Blake. That must be it. Now the question is, why do we think Ryan hired Frank to actually do a murder, or just to do the blackmail? If I remembered the first case better, I think I would know this. Yeah, Ryan definitely feels like the nonogram murderer. Or I feel like, as they would call it in the Heavy Rain universe, like the nanogram killer. Or like the nonogorm killer. I mean, it feels kind of weird to, like, hire someone else to do a blackmail, right? Like, the only thing you need to do a blackmail is to, like, have, like, incriminating evidence as leverage over the person. You do gain some additional sense of safety by having someone else, like, physically do the blackmail, just in case it, like, blows back on them. But, like... I don't know if it's just that I hate Ryan so much, but I'm really inclined to say that he hired him to kill. To do the killing. To kill? Non-agree killer. I think you both got that at the same time. It's fair. Multiple people predicting 6. We gotta get to it. I don't actually know if there's consequences that I recently saved, but I think to kill. Ryan hired Frank to kill Blake. What? No, Ryan wouldn't. But Blake is clearly circled in the photo. I think you're nearly right, but remember that recording from inside Blake's office? Ryan didn't go there with the intention of killing Blake. Blake tried to call the cops, and then he got killed in the struggle afterwards. That is correct. Let me amend my theory. Okay, so this seems like a weird thing to do, but sure, whatever, it's fine. He did the blackmail. What makes you think that, Scout? Remember when we hacked into the police fingerprint files? They showed that Frank worked for a private security firm called Lead Security. Blake has been circled in the photo. Given your mother's testimony, it doesn't make sense why she would have done so before handing it to Ryan. Therefore, we can assume that Ryan wanted to target Blake for something, and went to Leith in order to do so. Doing his own dirty work was never something Ryan was interested in. But why? Why would he hire someone to blackmail Blake? To get you off the show, to make you financially dependent. So he wants you to work at his company so he can control your life, just like your mom. The reason they get along together so well is because they mutually want to control your life, and have similar goals in mind for what that looks like. You're supposed to be a detective. It's pretty clear. Yeah, here's my theory. Get fired. He wanted you to get fired. Remember the Polaroids we found in Blake's office? They proved that someone tried to get you fired. Nani? You said that Ryan was very controlling. This could have been his attempt to continue controlling you, even after your divorce. Yeah, we're supposed to be detectives, right? Like, literally every exchange we've had with Ryan has pointed to this the entire time. This isn't new information. This isn't news. No one's relating to this. I think it's time to set a little trap for my ex-husband. A mouse trap. And then the game changes completely from nonogram puzzles to just trying to build and set off a singular mousetrap from the board game Mousetrap. This case is like so like off the rails. Like does anyone even care that a man died? Like so much of this case is about like our personal drama. Hey Ryan, I thought about your offer and well, there's just one thing I wanted to check with you before I accept. Could you come by the club at like 2 p.m.? I promise it's not a trap. Cool, I'll totally see you then. A man died? Right, Neko? I mean, yes. Now, to call Detective Cross. I feel like maybe you call the person to set up the trap before trying to set up the trap. Because if for some reason he didn't answer, it might become awkward. No, like, seriously, a man... So, you see this in the background here? It's, like, giant shoe. It's part of a parade float that, like, basically ran over a guy. When the text box isn't here, you can kind of see his corpse under this text box. We're technically investigating that man's murder. But as I've mentioned a few times now, like, we're not so much finding clues as people are, like, showing us how much our ex-husband sucks. And I don't need any evidence of that. Hey, Detective Ishonor, could you come back to the drag club? What? She's not? See, there's a dead... Okay. Okay, we'll start looking for more evidence until you get back. Why won't you wait for me? It makes Scout sad. Sorry, Scout. By the way, I just spoke to Detective Cross. Looks like Roz has an alibi. So it wasn't her? No, we need to get looking again. What's this guy's, like, whole deal? Where did this, like, zombie fool show up from? Like, is he, like, bad Dracula or something? Like, look at this guy. He's got sort of an ascot thing. I don't know if there's a different name for having it, like, done up that way. Sure, that's a fair point. Here. I mean, my bigger issue, like, he has, like, Band-Aid nose and, like, sunken eyes and whatever. My bigger issue is that he looks like bad curtains. But, like, what's his whole thing? Like, what's the deal? Why does he look like that? And why is he here? And is he, like, definitely the killer because he showed up? I'm just gonna give him, like, the creepin' voice. His name is practically that. Sorry, didn't see you there. Oh, I don't think they're going to be open today, to be honest. Oh, no, I'm helping out with the investigation. Like, a man died? You can see it behind the text box, but only briefly. Is that so? Well, don't let me stand in your way. Why can I question this man? Hold on, let me just make sure I can't scan anything, like in the bar or something. Oh, let's scan something in the bar. Bueller? Hey, you're the one who told me there's, like, a clue in here, guy. Oh. There's genuinely no point for that interface. It means nothing. Demolition, I literally know that. Like, I've done everything to demonstrate that I'm following the instructions. I literally, like, stopped that conversation dead to come over here to scan it. I got it. I appreciate the intel, but, like, I got it. I do got it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 6, 13 out of 15? No bueno. Do I got it? I indeed got it! I have it! Do I have, like, a sound effect for this? I can't think of any of them right now. Here, this one applies.
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
What was with the lag on that?
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
Well, it's fixed now. I fixed the Bonetown button. It wasn't working, and it's fixed now. I don't know what that was about. Oh, 8. Yeah, that's all but 2.
Squeak,
That's
squeak.
good. Squeak, squeak. Haven't heard a good squeak, squeak in a minute.
Yikes forever.
Yeah, just go at it. There are not enough opportunities for sound effects in this game. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this whole row is solved, right? 2, 3, 4, 1.
Oh my
1,
gosh!
Oh my gosh. So this would not work because it is a different number. Same here. This is weird. 5? 1 and 5 isn't anything, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it should be like that. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like that. It should be like that. Okay, so only groups of 1 in these 2 columns. How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, not so much enough there. I don't. It's extremely probable that these 2 spaces are filled in because, like, I also want a group of 2 for this row, but I don't think I can fill that in yet. Space. So I can't fit both the group of 2 and the group of 3 in the unblanked spaces, which means that the group of 3 has to be over here, which means that this should be filled in by the principle of overload, and the same should be true here. The top group should be 3 for both, which tells us exactly where the 8 goes. Which then tells us the group of 3 and the group of 7 needed for the top of these 2 columns can't go there. Which probably means that we probably do something with the 7, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's correct. I think I should be able to do something slightly more useful than this, but those should be correct, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, also, I guess technically I don't know the precise location of the middle spaces in this row, but I do know this should be filled in. And so this should be part of the group of 6, and this should not. I don't think that actually... No, wait. Yeah. This space can't be filled. No matter what. I don't know. It's very specific, but I'm pretty sure that's true. It seems extremely probable that this is filled in. One thing I do know is that these 2 spaces need to be part of... Oh, actually, let's start here. I know that this is the top group of 2. What I also know is that this should be part of the group of 5 because everything else filled in this column should be a 1. Does that tell me anything useful? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not possible. So that means that this space should be filled. I think that's what that means. Because it can't go all the way to the second to last space because there has to be a 1 below it. So, like, the furthest down it can actually reach is here, which means it has to go up to at least there. That should be correct. However... I I think I know what this column looks like. Because if the group of 5 reached up to here, there would be no way to fit 2 groups of 1. I still need 2 groups of 1. So, like, the least amount of space I can use to fill that would still mean that this is the first of the 5 spaces. And I think that just fills the whole rest of the row, if that's true. Yeah. That all should be correct, I'm reasonably sure. We do know that this has to be part of the rightmost group of 4. And that should be filled in. Which is another 1 for this column that has only 1s in it. Space 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I know that this can't be the furthest right group of 1 for this row, because I can't fit the requisite, like, 6 spaces to the left of this. Yeah, it's like just barely true, but that's true. And there's only one way to have a group further to the right, so that should be true, and then these should be filled in as a group of 3, and then one of those is filled in. Also, I filled in a space here, and there's only groups of 1, so they should be blank on either side. How many groups of 1 am I missing here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this column, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 2 more. Can't quite narrow that down, but we're close to that. This has to be part of the rightmost group of 3, and it can only fit in this fashion, so that's fun for me. It's also gotta be the second to last group of 2, which means those should both be filled in, which means this should be filled in to be the rightmost group of 2. Also should be able to conclude that this is part of the rightmost group of 5, which should have to extend at least this far, even if it touches the far right side. However, another thing that we know is that there's 2 groups in this column, and these would have to be continuous because I already know where a second group exists. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that should be blank. That should be filled. That should be blank. This is overlap of where that can fit. This should be blank, which then makes both of those blank. 1, 1. Can't do anything there yet. Don't have that. Oh, hang on. I need 2 groups of 1, and I've eliminated enough else here that it should look like that. And that means that this should be a group of 3, which means both of those should be blank, I think. I know that this is part of the group of 3. 2. I think this has to be filled. Because, like, the lowest this can be that it would work would be, like, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. It can extend 1 higher, that might be true, but, like, this space has to be filled, which also means that that should look like that, which means this is blank, and this should count down... Whoop, count down 3 to make that group, and then apparently there's only 1 filled in this whole row, which is wild. Then that tells me that this has to be filled in to make that group of 3 for the column, and that should be filled in to make that group of 3 and the group of 2 for the row. So... I actually think I know this whole row now. Because, like, I need to fill 2 more spaces. They can't both be to the right, so 1 more has to be filled in. If I try to extend this group of 5 further, it bleeds into the next one and makes too big a number. So those should be blank, and that should be filled. Which is then a group of 1, one of these is filled in. I honestly don't know which. This should be... Oh, this is weird, actually. So this should be our top group of 2, so that's not filled. But this is supposed to be a group of 3. It should be filled, but it also needs to be a group of 2, so these are, like, asymmetrical. Even though those rows are, like, identical in composition. 3, and then 1. And then, yeah, that can go wherever it pleases. Only missing groups of 1. And I need 2 more, and there's only one way to do that. 7. I haven't learned anything new there. That's interesting. Oh, this is bottom group 1. Can't fit 3 there. Only have 3 spaces left. That's convenient. So, now this row is done. It has to be separate from those 4, so that's a group of 1. Tells us that's like 2 down. Oh, also, this row has only groups of 1. That goes there, that one's empty. This has to be filled because there's now only 2 ways I could fit this group of 5 there. This should be group of 1, and those need to be filled. Only groups of 1 in both of these columns. That one should be done, and then this one's filled. Alright. This can't be anything. Getting pretty close here. Need a group of 1, group of 4. Okay, so I need 2 groups of 1 for this row. So this one has to be filled. Finishes this column, and then finishes that row. And then this one's done, right? So that's filled in. And then... that's filled. So that's filled? It's a thumbprint again? It's like the 9th thumbprint we found, but it's actually a speaker? I feel like I'm definitely getting better at these. I think it's like more than just like getting used to doing them again after the several month hiatus. Like there's stuff I'm doing now that I wasn't doing before that makes some of this quicker. Honor, take a look at these speakers. Okay, they're big? I don't know stuff about speakers. Yes, but also I'm detecting that the voice coil is made of silver wire. And the ports are all gold-plated. Right? Never knew you were such a hi-fi buff. Right, it's the 90s, sure. What's so important about that? Well, I was considering upgrading my speaker system, so I've been doing some research into the various options and... Scout? Sorry, what I mean is this is a very high-end speaker. Oh yeah, I think Fran got those installed recently. They weren't here when I came for the handover party. Business must be good then if she can afford these. Or like insurance money? Let's save again. This one. Is extremely disorienting to use the European date notation. Especially something about the way they chose to write it. I'm pretty sure there's nothing to scan out here, but I can like talk to this guy, but like... Let's talk to this guy first. Sorry, Mr. He didn't give you my name. You're right, you didn't. Oh, I can ask him many questions. What should I call you then? Cagey? Is that how you start all conversations? With an insult? You haven't even told me your name. You're right. My apologies. I'm Honor Mizrahi, and I suspect you of crimes. I'm kind of a private detective, but I don't have a license, so it's like super illegal. And I am Scout. Well, Honor Mizrahi, my name is Crispin Hakewell. Thanks. And what do you do, Mr. Hakewell? I hake very well. Sorry, I'm in finance. Right. What brings you to the area today? I was in the neighborhood seeing a client. Not a regular here then, huh? No offense to the clientele, but this isn't exactly my sort of place. But you figured you'd just stop by here anyway? I'm just taking in the scene. It's not every day you see a shopfront destroyed by a giant shoe, huh? You know this is like a murder scene, right? You could be forgiven for not knowing that because just based on where I'm standing, you can't see the corpse and there's like no crime tape or whatever. And also, I'm not actually a police officer, and this is actually all pretty sketchy and borderline illegal. Really? A murder scene? What a surprise. The body over there definitely didn't give it away. Dread to think what this'll do to business. It'll certainly cause a dent. I don't know why that's, like, emphasized like that. It's upsetting. Why any of this? Is there a reason you're just, like, hanging out, my guy? I was hoping I might bump into Fran, but I guess she's not around. Probably hiding in her office, drowning her sorrows. So you know Fran, then? Thought you weren't a regular. I don't know what you're talking about. Is there, like a non-zero chance that this is, like, Fran not in drag? Is that, like, a thing? Like, Fran is being very suspicious. And she is not presently here, from what I'm aware of. I think her, like, given name is, like, Edwin Tinker or something extremely fake. Something that, like, somehow sounds as fake as her drag name. Okay, Miss Mizrahi, I've entertained this little charade this far, but the novelty is wearing off. Go bother someone else. New location discovered. Dressing room office. Why? What? Let's just show him everything, like, super quick. Hey, how do you feel about speakers? What is this character's whole deal? Like, for real, what is his whole entire deal? He, like, literally walks up off the street to look like some sort of were-shark? Like a street shark that hasn't been transformed by the light of the full moon or something? And, like, his whole purpose is to tell us that there's a dressing room in the drag club? I'm supposed to be a detective, right? Like, I should not need someone to tell me that. If I'm looking for Fantasia, I should be able to figure out that I should check for an office, right? Am I stupid? This case is making me feel stupid. Hello, Fran? Doesn't seem like she's about. So, shall I scan for clues then? With the opportunity right there in front of us, it'd be foolish not to. Please do it. Now, okay, this will be interesting. This time the cursor was planted squarely on the computer. Will it be a computer-related clue? I suspect that it will not. Alright, 15 by 15. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Close. I mean, 9 and 1, I should be able to do something. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now what about this? Use purple. I think this one was like one off from being able... I think it's like 14 spaces. 1, 2, space, 1, space, 1, 2, 3, No, it doesn't really... Well... I guess this is the one configuration that accounts for, like, both of these groups. So, like, that should be fair enough. And then this would have to be this way. I think... Yeah, this is overlap, but we don't know exactly where the 3 is. But, like, the 1 has to be in one of these 2 spaces, and then the 3 has... Yeah, I think that's all correct. The computer just refreshed a bunch of icons in a way that's mildly concerning to me. Are you okay, computer? Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it's probably not gonna be it. 5, 6, 7, 8. 12. No. No, 5 in the right column. 1. I mean, I know that a group of 4... Actually, hang on. I know that the group of 4 has to be above this line, and the group of 3 has to be below it. There's no other way to work this. I have no idea where the 1 is. But so, like, in theory... Space... 1, 2, 3, 4... Or, like, 1, 2, 3, 4... Space. And, like, likewise, 1 space... 1, 2, 3, or... Yeah, okay. I think that's all correct. I think these are, like, definite points of overlap for the 4 and the 3. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It should be all but 1. This X might tell me something, or maybe not. 2. It doesn't really. I think it might be enough to tell me exactly where all the 1s go, though. Just make sure that's right, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, like, overlap, 2, space. Yeah. Like, these points down here should be definite. And then those points up there would be overlap of the possibilities of the 2 and the 3. So this point has to be part of the leftmost group of 4, and it can't reach all the way to here, because then it would be like a group of 5. And actually, furthermore, everything to the right of the group of 4 is an individual group of 1. So it should be the case that this one definitely has to be filled in. And technically, I think that can go either direction from there. But how many more 1s do I need? 1, 2, 3. Get 3 more. But it is possible to fit... Like, this could reach all the way to the left, and then there could be an additional one here. So I can't actually draw a conclusion there. Let me check something for a second here. So if this was the rightmost part of the group of 2, then I would have, like, space 1. Yeah, so that can't be true. Which I think means that that has to be the group of 1? Is that right? So hang on. Yeah, like if there's no ability to fit group of 1 and group of 4 to the right of this point. could, however, space 1, space 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm not too sure if that tells me anything, but I really wanted to check that for some reason. That's not useful. 1 space, 1 space. Yeah, the 4 can't fit up here no matter what. So that means 4 has to go down here, and no matter what its location, has to fill those spaces. Which means there's no way for this to be part of the group of 2. I don't know if this is. Actually, I think I do know that it is. Because if this has to be continuous, this is part of the group of 5. Because there's 2 groups. It's not part of this leftmost thing. And if I tried to reach these spaces over here, it would make one group of 6, which isn't what the row has. So I think that also then tells me that the furthest this can reach is over to here. Yeah, so this should be filled in too. And then none of that can be filled in. Oh, good grief. Keep doing this to myself. Is there like an obvious reason that I'm too dumb to be thinking of why I can't undo X's with the temporary purple marker? Is there like a reason why we just can't do that? It feels like we could do that. Also, since this is part of the group of 2, neither of those can be filled in. These would then be left blank because can't fit a group of 5 there. Also, we have a space filled in the bottom row. So, like, we should have like 3 additional overlap of like furthest left that can go is here, but it could reach like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then none of that can be filled in. Bottom group for here is 3, and for here is 3. So that doesn't fit there. One could fit in that right column. All seems fine. Oh. That can't actually have a 1 in it because no group of 1 here. What we do have is a group of 2 and a group of 6. We have 3, 7. Yeah. So those should all be filled in, and then 1 on either side, and then 1 on either side of this guy. However, we also know that the bottom group for this column is 2, so that should be filled in. Should fill that as well. And then it also tells us this one's not filled in. Bottom group here is 3, bottom group here is 2. Bottom group here is 3, and it needs to be separate. No, bottom group here is 9. And it should be linked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let's change the math at all? I don't think it has yet. No, I don't think I have enough information to do any of that. Okay, so, let me see something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. Yeah, that could still be, so I don't think I can rule that down too terribly much. This far down, really pretty much. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. Hold on a second. So I need 3 groups of 1 in this column. And I already have 2 spaces filled in next to each other. Which means that The lowest thing this could be is the bottom group of 4. So, like, fill this in. So, if that went down as low as possible, I need to fit 3 groups of 1. I could only fit 2. If this went here, I could do space, and it doesn't change anything. I think this group of 4 has to go here, and then, like, filled. Yeah, that should be correct. And then this gotta be filled in. Which means that this isn't, because that's my bottom group of 1. 6. This can't reach here. Why was this still open? That can't reach there. Those don't like those. That makes that bottom group of 3. Oh, I filled this. Through some reasoning. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it does fill that. Okay. I'll assume that's right. For some reason, that feels questionable. Oh, hang on. You still all right there, Groot? Okay. Oh, here's the thing. Check this out. The leftmost group is 1 in this row. So it has to be separated from this group of already 2 filled-in spaces. But now, I know that's a full group of 2 in its own right. And, interestingly, the next thing in sequence in the row should be a group of 1. So, like, nothing can... Like, I can't fill this as a space and then have a group of 3 here. It's already blocked off. So that means that this is the group of 1, and the 3 can't be anywhere until over here. I also know that because this is part of the bottom group of 3 for this column, it has to extend at least up to here, because it can only go this far down. It can reach further up, but can't go lower than that. Okay. Ooh, and now we have 3 in a row here and an endpoint, so we know that this is part of the group of 5 that has to extend 5 spaces, and then also nothing can be further right than that, which then means group of 3 reaches up here, and this space is empty, which means that this is exactly where the group of 3 for this row up here is. And then what do we... So now we know the constraints of the bottom group here. So we count up 2 more spaces. And then that leads us to a constrained group of 2. So this can't be filled in. Oh, and I also know that these have to be filled in because I need 2 groups of 2, and that's all that remains. Also tells me I have a bottom constraint here, so I know that this should be a group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I need a group of 5, and that's all I have left. So that should be good. But we now have constraints for like the entire left column, so let's start working these down. So we can count out the first group of 5, the first group of 5, the first group of 5, in the first group of 3, 1, can't do that 3 yet, 4, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, we also know, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is blank. And then it's 4, 4, 1, 1, so this is blank. So that's filled and makes that the bottom group of 4. That checks both directions. This should be a group of 2. This should be its own group, and this should be blank because... Oh, hang on. No, that's right. Just completed the 2 rows. This should also be blank. 3 and 2. Like 3, and then hold on. I mean, something's wrong here, isn't it? Because this should be blank. But then the next group is supposed to be 2. And that's not true if I fill this space or if I don't fill this space. So what? Oh. I don't know why this is wrong. This is the first group. I think that's what I did wrong. I think I counted that as a group of 2 and closed it off. This can't be the next group because it needs to be 2. So it has to be in here. And then that space would definitely be filled. And then in theory, this would be right. Don't have a ton of confidence in that. That should be blank in theory. I'm a little nervous, but I think I fixed that. Pretty sure this space is blank. Next thing I need from this row is a group of 2. So it can't fill exactly these 2 spaces because it would bleed into this. So that has to be blank. This could be filled or blank. Space 1, 2, 3, space 1, yeah. Is it the only way that works? It's not, right? Because I could do 1, 2, space 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, okay. I won't mess around with that yet. Uh, 4, and then a bunch of 1s. So that has to be by itself. I feel like I should be able to deduce more about this row than I have done. But as it turns out, I haven't done, so... this should be... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This should be a group of 1, so I should be able to cross out both sides on that one. Also, speaking of things I should be able to do up here, this should be the next group over, and this should be the next group over, which are 2 and 3 respectively. And also means that, at least in this case, that should be true, so we should have to extend one further down. Yeah, both of those need to be filled in. Oh, no, hang on. I did this one wrong. Next group isn't 2 here. Middle group is 1. This one's right, though. Because this one is the start of the next group. There's only 2 groups. But this should be 1, and this is 1. That's fine. That's fine. I still don't think I know that. Where's this one? This one. Alright, I need something. There's some sort of thing. If I miss something that I can already do. It's super important, but like, this can't be the top group of 2 I'm looking for. Means that's filled in. Which means only missing a group of 3, so it can't reach to either end here, but it can be anywhere else in the middle. 2, 3, I think that's right. 3, that's fine. Okay, hang on. In this column, bottom group should be 4, so this has to be part of that. And that means I need to have 2 points overlap there. But it can't reach up to here because that'd make a too large a group. So that should be filled in there. That's our bottom group of 4. Could make that our group of 2. I don't know about the 1s, but that does also tell us 3, 2, 1, 1. That row should be done. Which fills this, right? 3, 3, 3. No, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, that's what that looks like, right? Yeah, okay. Fill it in because I kind of hate it when I do like a continuous group that's like half purple, half black. It makes me do the math wrong repeatedly. I think I need to care too much down here, but I'll fill this one in too. Right. Oh, look at this wonky row. It's like a lot to do here. Ones am I missing? I'm missing like 2 ones for this row. I need 4 total. I have 2. So I need 2. A couple different ways that can work. About 3. I guess something that I know. I can't fit a whole group of 2 here. So this space can't be anything. Which then also tells me that this finishes the group of 4 for the row, and that's blank. Which then means that this has to be the group of 1, and those should be filled in. Okay. What do I know about the location of this 5? That's not it. That's filled in. There's only 5 possible spaces. I've somehow done that in that fashion. That's fine. Let's do all the right-hand groups. 1 and 1 and 1. Great. Totally solved the crime. Oh, not it. So this row's done. Do not do that because it breaks the whole game sometimes, occasionally. Hang on. 3, 2. Nope. I don't think I have new information there yet either, or there. This should, I already have my group of 4, so yeah, that's everything, right? It's a little helpful. Does that do much for me? At the moment, Oh, hang on. Wait, I still need 2 ones? No, I only need 1 1. That's why I got confused. Okay. I'm gonna start filling these in to get the game to help me take a look at what's remaining. Highlighting the gray and whatever. I feel pretty good about most of this, other than the thing I just almost goofed up, but I think I undid that correctly. We're getting close. Whoopsie doodle. So next group up is 2. So that should be separate, and then that's a group of 1. So this has to be part of one of the groups of 2. And the other group of 2 goes somewhere around here. Oh, hang on. This needs to be filled? That appears to need to be filled, which should mean that that is the case. And then that's the one for the top row. And then that should be filled. And that should be filled. Group of 2. What am I missing? This is 2. And that's blank. That checks out. Hang on. Ooh, that's tricky. This last section's tricky. This is blank, right? Neither the column nor the row needs anything, so that's nothing. What's the arrangement that makes this work? I think I got it. Hold on. 4, 2... Yeah, I need a second 1. And that should probably be enough to tell me what I need to know. So now I know that the group of 3 goes here, which apparently finishes everything but this. Hooray! It's... Oh, come on. Come on, what is that? Desktop I mean, first off, it looks exactly like the laptop. For starters, for number one. And secondly, neither of those is very convincing. They're just like gray on purple. Okay, I guess. Sure. But in fairness, this one did actually correspond to the background. I scanned the monitor, and then it was desktop PC. Now, I haven't kept as close track of that as you might expect me to do. But I feel like that doesn't normally work out in this game, and yet, it did here. The one time I was paying attention. Which makes me feel dumb. Just like not knowing that there's a dressing room in a drag club. And in that case, I don't mean me dumb so much as Honor dumb, but sure, whatever, fine. Honor, there's a computer here. A computer, huh? Should I try to hack into the mainframe? Oh, wait, that's the time thing, isn't it? Don't I hate that? It doesn't look like Fran's around, so we might as well, like, break some laws. Ruh-roh. Okay. I'm really rusty on these. I don't have a good feeling about this. 4? Can't be... No. Shoot. Come on. I got nothing. Why am I... Ugh. I hate this. 2. There's only a 2. Can't be that. So it has to be there, which means that, which means... that has to be true, and those have to be like this, and that. I have like 11 seconds to do this one. 3, 2, 3. I'm guessing you didn't I'm guessing you didn't manage to hack in. Yes, I'm sorry. Perhaps if I reconfigure my solving algorithm slightly, I'll have better luck. This is just like a bad mechanic. Like, I appreciate at least that they've, like, simplified the puzzles for this purpose, but, like... Good grief. It's just not, like, fun. Okay, it can't be there, so it has to be this. And then... Ugh, I don't know. 1... Can't be that, so it has to be this, and then this? No. No, 3's at the top. F me. It's just, like, stressful. I don't like it. 3 and 1, that's 2, and then 1, and that's 2, and 2, and 4. And then... 2 and 1. There's so little time! That's so little time! There's so little time and it's not fun or interesting. It's so little time. Please don't be awful. Like, please just, like, do a good game instead. Please. Thank you. Bottom row's done. For God's sake. What am I missing? This. 2's 1. No, I don't know that. What? Where's the... Has to go up this way. I think that's like that. 1, 3, 4. It goes down there. 1 and 3 has to go there. 3 and 1 has to go there. 2. Okay. I just don't see the value in the, like, even if you wanted to do like a timed puzzle, like 30 seconds to do 3 extremely simple puzzles that don't look like anything, like, isn't, it just doesn't strike me as that interesting. Like, even if it was like a more generous time limit and like an extremely simple image you had to solve, like, I still would hate it. Like, I just like I don't like stuff like that. I really don't like timed sections and stuff. But like, at least I would see the merit of that. Like, I don't know who this is for. Like, I don't get, like, who wants to solve like 3 like asinine puzzles in 30 seconds. Like, it just doesn't seem very interesting to me. It appears that the computer is mostly used for bookkeeping. Anything interesting? It's safe to assume that negative numbers are bad, yes? I don't know much about accounting either, but yeah, that seems generally right. In which case, it appears that the club is not doing well. For 4 out of the past 5 months, the club has made a loss. The friend's in financial trouble. Didn't we already know that? I feel like we already knew that. Yeah, that's a good point too, Demolition. Time sections, especially in puzzles that aren't skippable or more generous to a repeat failure, are major roadblocks. I think the biggest point there that you hit on is, like, if it is repeatable and there's no consequences for failure, but it's easy to fail it, it's genuinely just frustrating. If for some reason the game wants it to be really strict and hard and there be like a consequence for failing, then like at least there's like a reason maybe to do it. It still seems potentially ill-advised, but like if you can just like grind away at it until you get it done, and like it's not fun in its own right, but you have to do it eventually, but like you can do it as many times as you want, like it just doesn't really seem to have value in any way. Scan time, Fran time. Can we get one more in? I don't know where we're at. I think we're on the line between 4 and 5 again. Yeah, soundtrack is good, though, consistently throughout these things, even during the hacking sections. Alright, so that's the bottom, so we can do some count-ups. And groups are 1 and 3 and 2 and 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Figured that would cover more ground, but it doesn't, huh? That would be 6, 7, 8. Oh, this should be something, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. What? How did I do that math so wrong? 1, 4, no. There's probably overlap here, but for some reason I counted that in such a way that I thought that would fill the row. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, space, whatever, or like 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that should be true. I get something similar out of 2 and 5. That might not quite be enough. So like 5 or 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be right. And then in theory, that would make the bottom group of 2 for this column? I think I've seen something quite like that before. Makes me think it's wrong, but who knows? What we do know is that if this is true, then the group of 4 has to go on the left side and the 2 somewhere on the right. So we should be able to get some overlap there. We also know that like there's no group larger than 2 above that bottom group. So those should be closed off on either end. What do we have remaining here? 3 and 1 and a space between them? I think that's enough to work with. 1, 2, 3, or 1 space. Yeah, literally no overlap. So lots of small numbers toward the top here, at least in terms of the rows. Weirdly, this could be just about anything in this row. It's surprisingly unhelpful. Oh, check this out, though. I've somehow blocked out every space other than the 3 groups of 2 that necessarily must be here. That's fun. I think I get any additional information immediately from that. 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think I have enough to do anything with these small numbers. This also should be probably just shy of solving anything. Oh, now that I have this X here, then I know this is overlap, and I also know that this is overlap. So I'm looking for a group of 5, and I only have 6 possible spaces for that to go in. Let's check something here. So it might be possible that... No, so let's assume that this is the bottom space of the bottom group of 2. That would mean 1, 2 space, and then this is supposed to be a group of 2 as well. But I can't fill the space in this fashion, which means that it instead must be true. This space is filled, this is blank. Here's our second group of 2. And then here's our third group of 2. I believe that should all be true. And then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, don't quite have enough there, but should have that soon. These are... It all should be true. Now that I've put that X in the second column over, I now... Wait, do I? 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. No, I still don't know anything. Never mind. So that counts that. That's all fine. I know that the leftmost group is 2, so it can't fill that space. I don't think that's super helpful, but it's true. Hold on. Fill this. I fill this. I think any configuration of this row and this group of 4, actually this is also filled in. Has to be. Because this is the group of 4, and the only way to have a group left of that is right there. So, whether this 4 reaches to here and then leaves a space and like the 2 is at the edge, or if it reaches over here, and even if it's like the leftmost thing, no matter like any version of this means that space is filled. It's not super helpful though. Can't do anything there yet. Just have 1 and like a bunch of open space. Here's a bunch of open space. I need some help to get a foothold at the top there. Alright, so I know that below this X, I need to have both a group of 2 and a group of 4. So, like, I could hypothetically, like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, like... I mean, basically, I'm not going to get overlap on the bottom one. But it should be true, and it seems like it lines up with these rows. Like, this then becomes leftmost group of 4, which, like, that just definitely has to be true, doesn't it? Yeah, that just has to be true. I don't know if I had that blocked out before. But then, like, this would also be the leftmost group of 2. Yeah, and then, is there 1, 2... No, not enough. Write that down yet. Because it's like the same constraints as the one next to it that I can't do. Okay. Let's assume for a second that both of these spaces were blank. If that was true, and like the lowest way to fill this would be like 1, 2 space 1, 2 space 1, 2. That's not possible. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and I need another one. So I think that means that I necessarily need this to be filled in, which would make this true. I think that's true. And then that sort of cascades, like this group of 2 has to fill in this way. And then the group of 8 goes over here. That tells me what the bottom groups look like for those right-hand columns. Can't fit a group of 2 here. For some reason I'm not confident about this, but that should all be true. I believe all of that to be true. Ow. Hurt myself sitting. I'm old. This would be closed off, which means that this is like the exact location of that group of 2. Means that those should all... Yep, that's all filled in. I need here. The next group is 2. So I think, like, that's all true. And then this one's closed off. Next group up is 2. So that should be this one. That one's not so clear. Group up is 2, so we have to count down this way. Which means that's not filled, and that's not... What happened here? Okay. Okay, game is weird. You like shoulder Groot? I'm glad you like shoulder Groot. You know, in small size, you probably can't see him super clearly, but he's managed to stay up this whole time, even though he really didn't want to settle at the start of the stream. Okay. We've done much of the bottom. Is it useful? Unclear. Oh, this is helpful, though. Because then I can count up the next group, which is 4. And that will also let me close off like a bunch of stuff. There's nothing else in this row. It's almost in a group of 2 here. Wow, there's just like a whole lot of board left with nothing on it. This is weird. This is a weird puzzle. Gosh, I still haven't made a ton of leeway here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 spaces. 2 and 1. It's definitely not enough. 1 out of 7. No. I need something. This is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, man. Look at this thing. Look at what remains. I've done like half the puzzle completely, and then I have nothing for the rest of it. What is this? Stupid small number math. There's gotta be like some thing I can draw on from somewhere that gets me like 1 space filled in somewhere. But it is completely unclear to me what that is. So it's like mostly just like a bunch of 1s and stuff that I need at this point. Like 1s and 2s and nothing else. And like relatively large spaces left over. None of these rows are helpful because the numbers are just too small. It has to be something vertical, doesn't it? Even like my biggest stuff doesn't like do it. Oh no! How am I so dumb? Wait, okay, hold on. I think technically there's like 1 point of overlap I can get from this, which is like... Yeah, like that. Like, that should be a filled-in space per this column. Which means that I could reach to there or to there. These can't be filled in. Which then tells me exactly how that one works. It's weird. For some reason, the top one in this looked like it was grayed out, and I'm like, that's not possible. Oh, this can't be filled in as part of the group of 2 for the column. I think, again, gives me, like, overlap. I think. It can either be that or it can count up. So, like, that should be filled in, which would make it the rightmost group of 2. So many of these are awful. This home stretch is going to be really brutal, I think. 2 somewhere. What does this look like now? 2, no, nothing's changed there. 1's here. Is this reduced somehow enough? 1, 2, 3. No, it can still at least 2 iterations. I think it's more than that. I mean, I guess I know that. Yeah, I should do this. So, like, this has to be part of the rightmost group of 4, so it has to count at least 2 extra spaces over. That makes that the top 1 for both of those. So that isn't super helpful. Well, I do know I only need groups of 2 for this row, so this space has to be dead. 1 is not, however. Oh, is that the... Hang on. If I fill this, that's like the whole row done? Yeah, okay. That should be helpful. Well, it's not as helpful as I thought it was going to be, but it's something. So the only groups missing here are 1s, so that can be isolated, thusly. Yeah, I can't do that there. Oh, this should be filled in. So now it's blocked off in the other direction. Which means that nothing else in the right column is, and that instead works like that. Also becomes the top group of 1. Now this is overlap because I need to fit 3 out of 5 squares. Which... Oh, this should be filled as the rightmost group of 2, and that's the middle one. Also means this is done. I need to fit a 2 and a 1. They can't go in this set of 3 spaces, so like that should be filled in. Which means this can't be filled in, which I think means that, yeah, that should be correct. Which then also tells me that's how that works. And with that closed off, do I... Well, I know this is filled in. This one's not. So I think that tells me that's where the final group of 1 for that column goes and tells me where the 4 finishes. It should then tell me it's 3 goes here. I mean, am I missing here? Is it 2? 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, so like these should be filled in. Which still works. For a second I panicked. I thought I already did my leftmost group, but I didn't. And then that should be filled in. And then that should be filled in. And that should be filled in. Hey, that's under the wire. We're definitely not getting another puzzle done. It's letters! Yay. It doesn't... I mean, it's just colored spots. I feel like I honestly feel like less effort is being put into the nonogram solved puzzle images the further we go into the game. Which isn't like the worst thing in the world, but like I had hoped it would at least not trend in that direction, even if it didn't get like more better. I get the feeling that Fran doesn't have much of a filing system. It reminds me of your handbag, Honor. Uh-oh. Scout's about to die. Since when did you get so sassy? Are you feeling fat and sassy, you pharmacist. Maybe you've been hanging around KC too much. There are many utility bills. Water, electricity, all seem to be settled up to date. Really? I wonder how she paid them when the takings are so bad. It's a very, like, not American way of saying that. Oh, look at these. It's a bunch of rejections from loan companies. Man, I've often tried to ask loan companies out on a date, and I always get rejected. I mean, aren't corporations supposed to be people? Whatever. Not mad. Not mad at all. Fran was trying to get a loan. Find anything interesting? Nutty! Fran, we were just casually scanning things? Platonically? Wait, what? Looking for a wall outlet. I need to recharge. You know, I would have thought that private investigators would be better liars. Well, I'm not licensed, so there's that. Give me a second here. What's the one I need to save over? Is it the same one as last time? It sure is. Okay. And then I want to... There's no way with like 4 minutes left that we can solve another puzzle. So what I want to do is try and... Oh god. I just wanted to be able to present evidence. This is why I saved though. Let me explain. Oh, okay. So, today we did laptop, photo, speaker, desktop, letters. 5. It was 5 again. Did anyone bet on 5? No. The answer is no, which is interesting. I'm afraid we'll complete prediction, and I strongly suspect that the next time we play this game, many people will bet on 5, because we've done it twice in a row. We'll stream another hour and we'll get loads of points. But see, Neko, that's exactly why I phrased the question that way. Is how many puzzles will I finish in 3 hours? You said 5. There was no one... The prediction grid showed no votes on 5. It's weird, though. You do have a 5 badge. Wait, what? Wait, that literally doesn't make sense. It does show that there were... Oh, it's just 0%. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I'm too dumb for this. But to your point, Neko, I wanted to avoid those like gray area questions, which is why I phrased it. How many will be finished in 3 hours? Because like I could do another puzzle now, but it still wouldn't count towards the 3-hour prediction. So that way there should be no hard feelings of me deciding to like cheat or something. Oh, that's true. My mom did get 58.3 thousand points. That's pretty good. That's a return. Okay, now I think I get what I'm looking at now. So one person bet 200 channel points and in return got 58,000. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's like a pretty good return on investment. If only like Fran got here and like had that kind of return on investment. Although points are specifically not like cash redeemable, it's like it's a problem. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna get out of this conversation. And then I want to see, like, real quick, I want to see, are there, like, randomly places that I can scan that I, like, need to be aware of before the next stream? Can I scan my apartment? I should hope not. I should hope that doesn't work that way. Okay. Yeah, that's some pretty excellent booty for sure. It's like a totally normal thing when you're among us a bunch of booty watching your stream. That's like definitely on brand for me. And I think a normal person might be upset about that, but I'm like, no, that's working as intended. Like that should be happening. Okay, so I think my plan is, yeah, right? Try and get those odds at Vegas. You'll probably never be able to gamble in whatever casino you choose again. Like that, they will definitely assume that you've done something wrong. So I think my plan is I want to try and start like promptly tomorrow and expect to run a little bit long. Because like, I think we're kind of close to finishing Lamplight City. And so like, I think it's worth trying to run that stream a little bit longer to see if we can finish that before the break. But, like, as a result, I think we're, like, a good stopping point here, so I'm kind of inclined to, like, save talking to Fran until the new year. This is our last Friday of 2022. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. And again, I feel pretty clever in wording the prediction that way, because, like, under other circumstances, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know, am I supposed to do, like, another puzzle so that people have a chance at points? But no, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours. So keep that in mind for future bets, just in case. Just in case that didn't seem clear or you skimmed over it. Also, I don't know how much anyone cares, but I'm glad someone got a return on the points, so congrats to J.M. Flats, my mom. Yeah. Anything to discuss before we seek a secret Squirtle? Because somewhere on the couch behind me, I've hidden a secret Squirtle. This looks like a mess, and that's because it is. I had, like, a vision in mind, and it didn't work unless I, like, made it less obvious what was going on in the back row, and the only way to do that was to put, like, a big baguette, and it just kind of wanted to be diagonal. And anytime I moved it, everything fell off the couch. It's really annoying. I had a real struggle of a time with this. It didn't turn out the way I wanted, but it exists. It's fine. But yeah, like I said, this is the last Friday stream of the year. We'll be streaming again tomorrow with Lamplight City, which I hope to finish, but I can't guarantee that. I don't know how long I'm willing to run on that, but we'll figure that out. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, and then 2 weeks off, and I'll be streaming again on Friday, January 6th. Was keeping Groot on my shoulder? That's a reasonable question. I feel like I've showed these off a couple times, although I also only wear them like once or twice a year usually. It's a little magnetic plate. So you put this magnet like under your shirt, and then you put him on top, and then he sticks with the magnet. And you can't see that it's there, but it kind of sticks. It's not super advanced technology, but it's a clever little way to have a tiny shoulder Groot with, like... I love... They make, like, normal ones. I have a normal one. But this was, like, a special, like, Disney theme park one that had a Santa hat on it from, like, the year we went for my sister's birthday before the pandemic. It was very exciting. I was pleased to find this. I saw people walking around with these, and I was like, I must own that. I need to have it. And it took, like, 4 days checking, like, every store that seemed remotely possible to have it to finally locate it at, like, one specific shop in Epcot. It took, like, so much effort. And, like, a normal person would have given up or at least deemed that it wasn't worth the effort. But, like, we got there. Yeah, I have a few of these. I have, like, a not holiday Groot. I have a different one I was thinking of wearing tomorrow. I know that I've seen a parrot one. My mom said she thinks I have it, but I feel like I've seen it and don't own it. But if I do own it, I definitely lost it like a jackalope of some sort. Some sort of idiot person? Some sort of bad goof? Alright, let's take a look at these guesses. So, we've got... Squirtle under Squirtle. Oh yeah, you can see this guy, but he's not a secret because you can see him. That's how Secret Squirtle works. Under the Yeti. I just want to clarify. When you say Yeti, and this is a failing of the fact that my camera is extremely far away from the couch and not meant to be a criticism. I'm guessing it's either between this guy or further on screen right, this guy. Am I correct that one of those is your guess, Castle Arg, if you're still paying attention? Or as many as you have at once. I mean, I have 3. I immediately know where 2 of them are located. I might have another one. Okay, above the smiley face. Okay, so this one. Got it. Okay. Okay. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look. Clap, clap. Hey, none of my joints hurt. I wonder what that's about. That's fun. Okay. Let's check. So, like, the reasoning for no one and who cares was that I just wanted to put all the big guys in the front and still have other things visible. But it kind of looks like this, so, like, it doesn't look good. Alright, so. Squirtle. Here we have our absolute unit of a lobster, Lorenzo. Underneath the Squirtle behind him was Donut Cat. Everyone's favorite Donut Cat. Because it's the only one that I have. Of course, this guy was visible. He's not a secret Squirtle, he's just a regular Squirtle. Although he is the original secret Squirtle. I guess for Carlos. Hiding with our friend Carlos. Can I... Oh yeah, nothing fell over. Skill points. Achievement unlocked. Carlos was hanging out with our good buddy Bushy Narwhal, who is a cat doing an extremely good impression of a narwhal. Unfortunately, not so much in the Squirtle department. And then there's a guest behind our smiley face under Baymax from Big Hero 6. And it turns out Castle indeed managed to locate our secret Squirtle. He's all ready for winter. Check out his earmuffs. Check out his muffs. Congrats, Castle Arg, on locating the secret Squirtle. And congrats to J.O. Platts for getting like 58,000 channel points. I have a suspicion that will keep you in Yikes Forevers for an extremely long time. And finally, congrats to everybody who enjoyed the stream. Good for you. I hope people are liking this. It's kind of hard to gauge. I know it's like not an extremely chat interactive game. And also, it's like late on a Friday in the holiday season when there's like a ton of stuff going on and everyone's probably tired. But I hope that this was some good background noise or whatever. Tomorrow will be a little bit more active trying to solve the incredibly complicated serial murder spree in Lamplight City. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. Even just like the little bit of the last case we played, I'm like, I feel like you could make like a whole like yarn conspiracy board out of just like the things I already understand about how the previous cases all tie into this one. It's all very exciting to me. But yeah, we'll be playing that tomorrow, and then 2-week break. I'll try to remind people of that best I can. And then we'll be back I think it's the first Friday of the new year. The 6th should be correct. That should be the end of the first Friday of the new year. We'll be back, assuming nothing explodes or goes wrong. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. More ridiculous Christmas stuff tomorrow, along with Lamplight City. Hopefully we finish it, but I can't promise that. And then, in case I don't see you then, I hope you have a great remaining holiday season. Hope we wish you a Merry Christmas. I haven't been keeping close track of Hanukkah. I think it's either like late in Hanukkah or it already finished. I don't know. I apologize, but just have a good time. Stay safe, and merry merriment to you. I should be a writer.